Well, good morning, Georgia. Thank you for joining us on Fox 5 News Now on the Fox Local app, or maybe you are streaming with us on YouTube. Maybe you are listening to us on the radio. We appreciate you. Thank you for choosing us for your headlines and for all the amazing events happening around the metro Atlanta area. We want to start with some breaking news of the day. One of our reporters has been covering this pretty much all morning long. A hotel out in Decatur, it will have to pay millions of dollars to a sex trafficking victim. Our Lindsay Tuman is on the scene out there in Decatur. Lindsay, what have you learned so far about this case?
Hey, good morning to you, Judea. We are here at the federal courthouse building in downtown. Actually, this is where that verdict came down on Friday, which resulted in a $40 million verdict for a survivor of sex trafficking. That jury said that the hotel indicator had to pay this survivor of sex trafficking for ignoring that act that was happening on its property. So the owners of the United Inn and Suites in Decatur, which is Northbrook Industries Incorporated, now has to pay that amount to the survivor who was sex trafficked on hotel property from 2018 to 2019. The survivor's attorney says hotel staff knew minors were being sex trafficked on that property and turned a blind eye for profit. At the trial, the attorneys representing the hotel claimed their staff had no idea that this was happening, but ultimately the jury ruled against them, setting a new precedent for cases like this in Georgia and across the country. Now, the attorney for the survivor said that this is extremely important because this could help. He hopes that eyes from the insurance industries and hospitality industries were on this, and that ultimately it will help them in instructing their employees to be looking for signs of this, making sure that this isn't happening, and ultimately slowing down sex trafficking. One of the major points of the case, he says, was explaining who exactly these victims are. Take a listen to how he describes that.
We had an expert testify on this. One of the things that we also hope that makes a statement is there still is some misconception of sex trafficking. I think some people still see the movies and think there's some foreign person brought over on a boat and they're chained up somewhere. And it's not that. And I think our expert was really good at being able to explain to this jury 80% of these people are children right here in our community. These are our kids. These are kids. And you know what's the difference of them and like someone who's doing pretty good? They're vulnerable. They've already had a bad break. They've had some problem at home. They've got, a missing parent. There's some breakdown there. And teenagers are vulnerable to begin with. But you throw that on top of, some, societal vulnerability, and then they run away and they're on the street. And these traffickers, they're just good. People think that they're grabbing kids at the mall, putting them in trunks. They're not doing that. They're coming up and saying, what can I do to help you? Hey, you look beautiful. I love you. Can I help you do this? Hey, you want to stay with me at the room? I got you covered. And sometimes give them drugs. And then ultimately they're like, hey, now, you owe me. And they flip it. And then all of a sudden they introduce violence. And it's hard for them to get out.
He also went on to say that these the hotels, the employees who work there, don't necessarily need to be experts in sex trafficking or identifying sex trafficking victims. But he says what they do need to do is step up when there is a situation that needs to be even investigated. And that's as simple as calling 911. I'll go into more details on that in the next hour here on Fox Local. But certainly a very interesting case with a lot of eyes on it, and one that should set precedent in this industry. And we did reach out to the hotel for comment. They told us that the owners weren't available to speak. If we do hear back on that, of course, we'll keep you updated. And unfortunately, this is not a unique situation. There are other cases like this. Even this attorney says he has a trial coming up in the next few weeks in a very similar circumstances. But certainly one that we're keeping our eyes on, and Judea will keep you updated as we learn more. For now, that's the latest here in downtown. I'm Lindsay Tuman. Back to you.
Lindsay, amazing job breaking that down, and I really appreciate the interview that you were able to get us. The way that he broke things down, it makes sense. It's not always that. What did he say? Like the person like taking you in the mall or something like that. Sometimes it could be those more normal interactions that you wouldn't think or blink twice about. So I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And, another point that Lindsay made, if we can bring back into studio, is this isn't that all uncommon. In fact, there is an initiative right now with All-Star Weekend well underway here in the state of Georgia. We learned that people are concerned that the All-Star Game could potentially bring sex trafficking to our area, or at least exacerbate it. As thousands of people are supposed to come to Atlanta, and most of them are already here for the big game next Tuesday. Advocates are warning that the event could also bring in a surge in sex trafficking, especially involving children. Maybe you have seen these billboards out. They went up before All-Star Village opened. The national advocacy group Rights for Girls is leading that targeted billboard campaign in our area. One has been placed prominently on South Cobb Parkway, less than a mile from the stadium. And all of them are just to make sure that you are aware that this is something that is happening right under your nose, unfortunately right here at home. And if you follow that link, it explains more information on how you can help, how you can see the signs. Another big headline that we are covering in the Fox 5 Atlanta newsroom, the Justice Department is dropping charges against a doctor from Utah who's been accused of running a fake COVID-19 vaccine scheme. According to the Department of Justice, this doctor threw away $28,000 worth of vaccinations during the pandemic and instead was injecting children with saline, and then created fake vaccine cards. So, back during 2019 to, I believe, like 2021, 2022, you had to show that vaccine card to get into a lot of different venues so they know you were vaccinated. So this is a pretty big deal. That doctor was facing 35 years in prison, but yesterday, U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi said she dismissed the charges, saying that he gave patients a choice when the government didn't. She also posted a message thanking Georgia Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene for, as she said, bringing this case to her attention. So I don't know if you have heard, but Georgia is planning on purging nearly 478,000 inactive voters. Again, big deal. That's about 500,000 people who are at risk of being canceled. The Secretary of State's office has mailed out letters to those inactive voters. If you receive one, you only have 40 days to respond, so you're going to want to get on that. The chief operating officer for the Georgia Secretary of State's office says that this will help Georgia maintain its status of having one of the most accurate voter registrations in the nation. We'll keep an eye on things, but, the people who are against it say that canceling those registrations could remove eligible voters. Let's take a listen.
The risk is that this activity then ends up disenfranchising people who are eligible voters.
A link on our website, fox5atlanta.com, where you can check your voter status to see if you are still eligible to vote. And it is a pretty good time to do that because don't forget, this coming Tuesday is actually Election Day. It's the runoff for the Public Service Commission. This election is between former Atlanta City Council member Keisha Waits and Peter Hubbard in the District 3 Democratic primary. So neither one of them got more than 50% of the vote back in June. Unfortunately, the turnout wasn't really that great for the first round. But early voting for the election has wrapped up, and we will see what happens on Tuesday. So try to make it out to the polls. And while you're looking for things to do around our area, today is a great day to get out there, especially downtown, midtown. But I think the most important thing to know is what's going to happen with the skies, the weather. We're going to pop out to our meteorologist, Fox 5 Storm Team meteorologist, Alex Forbes. Alex, what's the latest?
Yeah, we're going to be looking at showers and storms once again through the afternoon today, but I think the people who saw some yesterday maybe don't have as good of a chance of seeing some today. Most of our activity yesterday was on the west side of Interstate 75. Today it's going to, it was on the east side. Today it's going to flip to the west side of 75 with about a 20 to 30% chance of some showers. All right, here we go into the mid-90s this afternoon, but we're in Georgia. We know how this goes. 95 in Atlanta means it's going to feel like 99, 100, 101. That's going to be a possibility through the day today. 94 in Covington, 96 in Athens, 92 over in Gainesville today and in Canton, 90 in Rome, and a pair of 8s out in Carrollton. So bundle up in Carrollton, right? A heat advisory in effect for the late afternoon hours, mainly south of Atlanta. This is going to be from Upson County over through Monroe County, Milledgeville included in this, Sparta over towards Crawfordville, Taliaferro County, and up into Oglethorpe County. This is for heat index values up to 105. Now, I said to bundle up in Carrollton. Obviously, don't go do that. But I say that to highlight the fact that it's still going to be hot everywhere else, right? Just because you cross that Morgan-Newton County line does not mean Antarctica is going to break out. We're still going to be hot here in the metro area. Now, if you have any vacation plans over the next couple of days, listen up, especially if you're thinking about going down to the Florida Gulf Coast. We are watching a small chance of development really right along the coast from the Tampa area over to New Orleans. We're going to have a piece of mid-level energy come across the Florida Peninsula, and there is a small chance that it develops if it's able to get into the Northeast Gulf. If it does so, I would be looking for a landfall spot if it were to become Tropical Storm Dexter to be anywhere from like Panama City over to New Orleans. It looks like that piece of energy has tried to be pulled up towards the north. Now, I say that to highlight the fact that we would be on the eastern side of the storm there, which means that might increase our rain chances again. That's all if, let me highlight it again, if we're able to see something develop out of that. As I mentioned, the next name on the list is Dexter Judea. I don't know about you, but Dexter seems like a really bad name for a hurricane. A 20% chance of rain there for tomorrow, 40% for the All-Star game. So I am watching for showers and storms, even around first pitch time around 8 o'clock. The good news is that 96 there on Tuesday, that's the peak heating of the day. So we're not looking at that necessarily for the game itself. And then as the rain chances come up, the high temperature is a little closer to average.
Alex, I had to laugh because some of these names for the tropical storms that, sometimes end up becoming hurricanes usually don't sound that daunting to me. Dexter makes me think of Dexter's Laboratory. I'm not scared of that, but maybe I should be.
So for me, it makes me think of the TV show Dexter. Yeah. And he goes around killing people. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
That's a good one. That's a good one. All right, well, we will come back out to you later. You mentioned, the forecast over Truist Park because All-Star Village is back up and running. So hopefully later on in the show, we can talk a little bit more about that forecast. And we got you a live look at Truist Park. We're pretty soon. Like I mentioned, All-Star Village will be reopened. If you didn't get a chance to get out there yesterday or for whatever reason you missed our coverage right here on Fox Local, I'm so sorry, but you're here with us today. There are events for the whole family. There's plenty of food. There are what they call fan opportunities and activations for you to, feel like you're really one of the players, and maybe you might even see some stars. We have a look right here from the inside. Everything was pretty cool. So, like I said, if you missed it, don't worry because it is reopening today. It costs $35 to get into the village, and it is open until Tuesday. And speaking of Tuesday, you can join us right here on Fox Local on Tuesday for live previewing coverage right before the game. Guys, that starts at 3 p.m. If you can, take a screenshot of this because you're not going to want to miss out on our coverage. We'll have some of our experts here in the studio, and we'll get a live look at everything that's happening down in the Battery. Pretty cool stuff. Later on today, we will also hear from Sudu Ubadea, who's part of our sports team. He's going to have some live coverage as well from everything that's popping down there in Cobb County. But one thing that I always think about when it comes to these kinds of live events is, what's going to happen to my pockets? Because you're going to want the hot dogs, you're going to want the peanuts, the popcorn, the soda, but it really can all add up, especially if you're purchasing for more than just yourself, maybe your friends, maybe children. So I spoke to an expert who has been looking at the money spent at these well-known events, including the All-Star Game. And we talked about what is called price gouging at the counter. We'll have more on that when we come back from this break. guys, welcome back to Fox 5 News Now. We have been talking about the All-Star Game that is well underway. A lot of the big things coming to Cobb County. Now, news to no one, vendors at these kinds of high traffic events can hike up their prices. You've seen it in places like the airport. You've seen it at sports games. So sitting down with us is Alex Jaquez from Groundwork Collaborative. He's also a former college baseball player. He says he has plenty of experience clocking these sorts of outrageous prices. Alex, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. Really appreciate it.
Of course. So we saw a report from the group that you work for called Shakedown at the Snack Counter, the case for street pricing. And one of the shocking things to me was that sometimes prices can go up about 500%. How is that allowed?
That's absolutely right. And so we found a report from an MLB reporter in Minneapolis at the All-Star Game in 1985, where he found that the typical fan could expect to spend about $15 in beer, hot dogs, concessions, and other merchandise. $15 in today's dollars, that is $5 at the time. Today, that'll barely cover a beer at the National Stadium in DC, where I am, and the cost of concessions at the counter at these stadiums, which are often subsidized by taxpayers, is really just outrageous. And they are raising their prices as high as they can, inflated ticket prices, and it's getting harder and harder to afford to take a family of four out to the ball game.
So I saw also that you mentioned these kinds of places, these venues that we go to kind of create a captive audience, meaning that we don't really have a choice in how much we're going to spend. You want to go to the game, you want the hot dog, you want the drink, you have to pay those prices. Can you talk about how that dynamic fuels the unfair pricing that we've been talking about?
Sure, at places like airports, like at stadiums, you are often not allowed to bring in your own food and drink. Some stadiums now will allow you to bring in water on hot days. But at airports, right, you have to throw your bottle of water away before you get through security. And then on the other side, you go to the concession stand, and that bottle of water that's $2 or $3 outside the airport is now $7, $8, or even $9. And so stadiums, they know they have you. They know that if you've got a kid, the kid's going to want ice cream, he's going to want a hot dog, and they can gouge you as much as they possibly can.
Yeah, that is right. And I'm just thinking, not only do we have the baseball game, this weekend and all the exciting activities surrounding that, but Beyonce is also in town at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, and they actually made headlines not too long ago by offering affordable prices. What do you think these other venues could take from that moving forward?
So Mercedes-Benz Stadium is exactly the type of model that we discuss in our paper, which is that more stadiums, particularly if they're taking taxpayer subsidies, either at the federal, state, or local level, should adopt what we call street pricing. Pretty simple. It means what you pay outside the stadium is what you pay inside the stadium. Now, the Mercedes-Benz Stadium did this. They adopted fan-friendly pricing on their own. And if you talk to anybody involved in stadium operations, it has been a smashing hit. They actually find that they get more revenue because more families are able to afford to go to the game. They buy more merchandise and more other concessions. And so they have some of the most affordable prices across major sports, and they are getting the value from it. They are both making good money, and the fan experience is top of the charts. I will say Truist Ballpark, where the All-Star Game will be held next week, also has some fairly affordable options for hot dogs and beer. But if you add everything together, merchandise, tickets, beer, hot dogs, soda, it's about middle of the pack to take a family of four to a game at a regular Braves game, about $240.
Okay, I was going to ask you about how much do you think the family should be bringing with them, but let's move on to another question. How realistic, you mentioned the street pricing. We've been talking about the gouged prices. How realistic would you say it would be to show them both side by side and give, I guess, the consumer the option then if they're actually going to pay for it right then and there, or if they're going to opt out and move on to something else?
Yeah, so I think that, lawmakers across the country, particularly at the state and local level, have been discussing options to bring down affordability when they pay for these new stadiums with tax dollars or city bonds. They are adding in requirements for that stadium and that team to serve its city or its town. And so I think either implementing street pricing, making pricing more transparent, offering deals to local residents. These are all things that have been negotiated in community benefit agreements in some of these stadium deals, as well as at airports. I think the Portland International Airport is consistently the top-rated airport in the country, and it's because they don't charge $1 more inside the airport than they do outside, and that's because the city of Portland owns the concessions, and they are able to charge those low prices.
Now, I'm going to give you the final thought on this one. I want to bring it back to the people who are streaming out there with us, the real people who are going to these games and who have to spend their money if they're going to spend it. What advice, I guess, would you give to the average American who is trying to save their money? Let me take a step back, because this was also a political talking point, I believe, during the election, like the hidden fees and prices and the gouging and all that stuff. Okay, so now back to that average American who's going to the game or going to the concert, going to the airport. Any advice that you could give them while trying to, keep money in their pocket, but also enjoy while they're out and about?
Of course. First of all, you've got to make sure that you are checking for those hidden fees, for those surcharges, anything that companies are trying to do to trip you up and drive up the prices. The Federal Trade Commission under President Biden enacted a rule that went into effect this year that places like hotels, Airbnb, Ticketmaster must disclose all their prices up front. So that's a good step. But, also just making their concerns known. Americans are sick and tired of paying higher prices. It's been going on for too long, and I think they are not going to stand for it for much longer. So ensuring that team owners, often, billionaires themselves who don't have to worry about a cost of a hot dog for their family, are aware that this is a concern for people and that going to the game should be affordable for all families, not just those, the wealthy and the top 1%.
For sure. And we will definitely be looking out to see what our audience has to say about all of this after the weekend and the couple of events during the week are over. Alex, thank you so much for your time. You guys out there streaming with us, don't go anywhere. We're going to get you a quick break. When we come back, we will have plenty more content and news headlines for you. Hey guys, welcome back to Fox 5 News Now. I'm Judea Murray. I'm going to be your host for the next couple of hours. Thank you so much for joining us for your headlines, for the amazing events happening around the metro Atlanta area. Speaking of those headlines, though, let's get you a couple of more that may impact your day or the week ahead. Starting with some new tariffs from the Trump administration. President Donald Trump announced a new 30% tariff on imported goods from Mexico and the European Union. It is expected to begin August 1st. Now, he says these tariffs will be raised even higher should Mexico and the EU retaliate, so we will keep our eyes out on that. He also announced a 35% tariff against Canadian goods. Now, if you're wondering why these nations in particular, he blames our foreign neighbors for failing to stop the flow of fentanyl into the country. Also, I know a lot of you have been emailing the newsroom, understandably so, trying to figure out where your rebate from the tax refunds are. Right now, hundreds of millions of dollars in those refunds are being issued to Georgia residents. If you still haven't gotten yours, be patient. There is a way for you to track that payment. We do have more information on our website, but let me explain a little bit more. Disbursements started going out back in June. We are in July now, and so, yeah, you may be wondering where yours is. If you set your tax refund to direct deposit, you should be looking for a transaction labeled Gas T Tax RFD. Maybe you do already have it. Check your bank account. If you don't have it in there, you can reach out to the tax center here in Georgia, and they should be able to get you some more information. But again, we also have a link for you to check the status of your refund on our website. Now, the amount that you would receive depends on whether you filed as single, married, or head of household. Once again, you can track your surplus refund on the state's Department of Revenue website. All you have to do is enter your Social Security number and your adjusted gross income from your state tax return. Another headline that could impact your pockets, we just found out that rent payments could qualify when you are trying to get into purchasing your own home. That's pretty cool here in the state of Georgia. For the first time ever, those rent payments will be possibly taken into consideration when you're trying to apply for a mortgage. That's according to a new order from the Federal Housing Finance Agency. The directive says that credit history will no longer be limited to just credit cards and loans. Up until now, home buyers' credit was based only on your FICO score, which didn't take rent payments into account when determining a person's credit worthiness. But, of course, if you have been renting for years, maybe even since college or since before then, that money adds up. And so that would be really cool to see coming soon. All right, now, you guys looking for something to do in Georgia? Queen Bee is back at the Benz. She's making her return to the stadium tonight for night 3 of her Cowboy Carter tour. Guys, pack your patience, whether you are going or whether you just live in the area, because there is going to be a lot of traffic downtown for the next few days. So if you're heading to the show, parking lots open at 2 p.m., gates open at 5:30, and the music is expected to start at 8. Now, city leaders have said over and over again that MARTA is going to be your best bet. I understand maybe some of you want to drive, you feel more comfortable in your car, but getting on the train is probably going to be the better way to get around. You won't have to worry about traffic, that's for sure. Plus, MARTA is running extra trains before and after each show. If you want to opt in and use a rideshare app like Uber or Lyft or RideHer, you can schedule your drop-off at Zone 1, which is located on the North Side Drive in front of Georgia World Congress Center, Building C. Also, guys, don't forget about the stadium's clear bag policy because you will not be able to bring in an opaque bag. That's pretty important. All right, let's bring it back into studio real quick. I heard that we have sent our reporter Eli Jordan out on a pretty interesting mission at Zoo Atlanta. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag, so I'm going to let him explain what the deal is, the scoop out there at the zoo. Eli?
Yeah, good morning, Judea. Yeah, I mean, the scoop, the cat out of the bag, I scoop litter every morning with my cat. But today at the Zoo Atlanta, they're talking about Grossology, which is about the animal poop here at the zoo. I mean, we don't ever really see this. This is the 4th annual Grossology. We're going to have like places set up here where your visitors can come and check out, and then have zoo people, experts, explain the diet and then the eventual excrement of the animals. But you can learn a lot about it, though. I mean, I like to watch birds and stuff, and I can tell when a raptor has been hanging around on a limb or something. You look down on the ground and you see fur or little bones. So I'm like, all right, that was a raptor that did that. And then I've gone fishing in Alaska, and you see bear scat. And that's pretty interesting and kind of scary. But, you know, yeah, it's going to be a gross day here at the Zoo Atlanta for the 4th annual Grossology. This should be pretty cool. You know, we'll talk about bat guano, talk about, I don't know what else I can say, poop, and get the scoop on poop, I guess. But, yeah, it should be cool. But I'm out here hanging out at the with the flamingos. I kind of feel like it's Miami Vice out here. Need Crockett and Tubbs. And need some cool music and a boat to go zooming by. But yeah, it should be a fun day here. They're going to start up at 10. And it's going to go on until 3 o'clock today. And then, like I said, this is their 4th annual Grossology. And you just come on in here, and then you'll run into it. They're getting things set up, and I'm not where they have things set up yet. I was giving them a chance to get prepared and whatnot. But the zoo just opened right at 9 o'clock, and they're getting things swinging. And so if you want to learn about poop and other excrements of the zoo animals, come on down here today. You got until 3 o'clock to check it out. Judea?
So hard not to laugh back here in the studio and be a child, but you know, it is a funny topic. And what's cool about, oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just thinking about all the, I thought I had a list of all the acceptable
All right, be
synonyms
careful now. Be careful.
of a word that rhymes with sit. But anyways, we're out here and we're going to check out Grossology as the day goes on. It should be neat. And I'm just gotta watch what I say and not be too
I'm
relaxed.
on you. I feel like this is.
I need to remember I'm on TV.
This is a game of taboo. I need my little buzzer to make sure you don't say the wrong word. Eli, pretty cool event. I mean, kids love talking about poop as it is, but this is an educational one because there are a lot of
kids.
There are a lot of cool, important things that can be done with animal excretions. All right, let's move on before.
Well, I mean, you could definitely, for animal identification for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And it also teaches you about, their habits and, how they hunt, what they hunt, and what they eat. Like, you expect, bear scat to have a bunch of salmon bones and stuff, but the bear scat I saw had a bunch of seeds from the fruits they eat along the trail. They have a bunch of salmon berries, which it looks like giant raspberries and blueberries.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, you'll be surprised that, it's not, their diet is not exactly what you think it is. And the only way to figure that out is to look at their excrements. But yeah, that'll be going on here today. It seems like it's a popular event. It's their 4th annual one. And, they're real busy on the weekends. So there's going to be a lot of kids here getting the scoop on the poop, as they say. But yeah, this is the flamingo. This is the first thing you see when you walk into the zoo is the flamingos, and everybody's checking it out.
Yeah, that actually might be one of my favorite.
So it should be a cool day at the zoo.
Animals to visit. I remember as a kid, I learned that the things that the flamingos eat, like shrimp, impact the color. So they're pink because they eat things like shrimp. Thought that was kind of cool as a kid.
Yep.
So that'll kick off in about 30 minutes. We will get back out to Eli Jordan to see what's happening. We'll get the scoop on the poop, as he has said. But until then, as I mentioned before, Atlanta is going to be hot this weekend. Tonight, downtown Atlanta at State Farm Arena, WWE is bringing out the heavy-hitting women. And we got to talk to one of them. Jade Cargill sat down with our Sudu Ubadea. Jade, you may know her better as the Queen of the Ring. If we can get the banner up real quick. As I mentioned, you may know her better as the Queen of the Ring. She has been really instrumental out in her field, but tonight, when she's going up against Naomi, she says it is pretty personal. Let's hear what she had to say to Sudu.
Joining me right now, we've got some royalty. WWE Queen of the Ring, Jade Cargill, also a two-time women's tag team champion.
Yes, I am.
Jade, thank you so much for joining us today.
No, thank you for having me.
Of course, and I mean, you live in the Atlanta area.
I
Obviously,
do.
Evolution coming back to Atlanta, and really just coming back for the first time since 2018. All-women card. How excited are you for that?
I'm excited. We have the likes of Trish Stratus that's going to be there. We also have Nikki Bella. I mean, we have Tiffany Stratton going up against Trish Stratus
Yep.
for the WWE Championship. I think that's big. I'm going up against Naomi. I mean, I'm tired of dealing with that. So finally, I can get that net off my back.
Yeah.
It's going to be a great show, jam-packed.
Yeah, a historic night,
Yes,
right? Obviously,
very.
a show like this. What has kind of the energy been like in the women's locker room with this coming up? There's so much talent there, obviously, just to be able to showcase it in one show all night long.
Exciting. We're excited to show what we have and what we got, right? Because we don't get shows like this.
Right.
So we're preview what we're doing and just go out there and show what we're building up to do.
No doubt. You mentioned Naomi.
Yeah.
There's a lot of history there.
Lots.
Right? Between
Yeah.
her attacking you.
Yeah.
Right? You came back and got her. All right? Then recently she got you. I mean, it's been a back and forth affair.
Yes.
How personal has this gotten, and what are you hoping to do with it? I mean, it's no holds barred.
Yeah.
This could be one of the most brutal matches of your career. What are you hoping to accomplish?
I'm
Sunday?
hoping to be done with this. I'm tired. Every week is something. She comes after me, she runs. If I do adjust it, she comes after me, she runs. I'm tired of it. We're going to be dealing with all kind of things, from babies to people to tables to chairs to popcorn to everything you name. I'm just tired. I'm glad to get this over with.
Yep.
It's
Now,
time.
you have roots here, as I mentioned. You live here. Your husband, Brandon
Yes.
Phillips, who
Yes.
everybody knows, obviously
Stone
MLB
Mountain native,
All-Star,
yep.
Stone Mountain native, Redan High School, right? So obviously, I'm assuming a lot of family going to be in the crowd.
Very.
Will there be any help? Like, if you get into the thick of it, you're in there. You think maybe a cousin can throw in an elbow or
I'm
something?
hoping so. I mean, hopefully you'll be there. I'm trying to rally up people that'll be in the crowd that's going to help me, because listen, she has all in her briefcase. She has all kind of stuff. She's missed money
Yep.
in the bank, so she has all kind of things, to barbed wire to, oh my, she's trying to hurt me.
Yeah.
Like, she literally threw me on a car. If you followed my story, you know she threw me on a car. I am done. I am tired. We are going all out, and hopefully you're on my side, so you help me with that.
I want whatever you say. I'm there.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
I'm there.
I need it.
100%. Just a little bit more about Evolution and kind of like it being such a historic moment. You obviously have a daughter,
Yes.
right? What are you hoping that the young girls there at State Farm Arena on Sunday kind of take away from this event?
Yeah, that you can do anything you put your mind to. You know, don't let anyone tell you who you are. You show them who you are. And that's what we're going to go out there and do on Sunday at the State Farm Arena at 6:30.
Okay, what is your message if Naomi is watching this? What would be your message to her?
Girl, you already know it's coming. This Sunday, be ready, because a storm is coming.
Storm is coming. Okay, since you do live in Atlanta, I wanted to kind of get your thoughts on some Atlanta things.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite wing spot in the city?
Right now, is it Kimchi? Kimchi Red.
Okay.
Kimchi Red out in Alpharetta is so good.
I have not been to Kimchi
You
Red.
have to
I'm a big
go.
wing guy.
You
That's
have
crazy.
to go. It's so good. I
Okay.
think they have about 3 locations, but it's really, really good. But also, I like Wings 101.
Okay.
Don't,
Sometimes
it's-
keep it simple.
Yeah, keep it simple. But Kimchi Red, you definitely have to try out. They have so many
It's like
flavors.
Korean wings?
Yes.
Okay.
It's really good. I'm telling you. Well, they say they're the #1 wing place in the United States. I think so,
Really?
right? Yeah.
I'll have to try.
You
I
have
didn't
to.
know
It's
about
good.
this.
They have ramen with it. They have everything you can think of with your wings.
Okay.
Try it out.
Kimchi Red. Noted.
I won't steer you wrong.
GOAT Atlanta artist.
Why you have to set me up like that?
No, come on. Because I know you have one.
Outcast. Andre
I mean, that's
3000.
easy. I was gonna
Andre
be like, you gotta
3000.
put
You
that
have
in the
to, yes,
bag.
of course, of course. My
100%.
husband would kill me if I say anything else. Yeah.
No
huge
doubt
fan.
about it. Are you a Braves fan? Or do you kind of roll with, like, who is your husband a fan of? I know he spent a majority, is it
With
where he
the
spent-
Reds.
With the Reds, right?
Yeah.
A majority of his career with the Reds. Are you a Reds fan? Are you a Brave? Like, how do you, and you're from Florida, like, how does that work for you?
So I'm more of a Braves fan.
Okay.
So when he was here for the 2017-18, we were so excited. We had a fantastic year at that.
Mm-hmm.
The Sun Park, well, it's not the Sun Park anymore, but it was it's a
Yep.
Truist Stadium, but it was a brand new park. So
Yep.
we got to experience that. We had a great time with them. I would say I'm more of a Braves fan.
I love that. Now, I don't know if people knew this. You're a bit of a hooper. Like,
I am.
I looked
I
at
am.
your stats. You,
Whenever you're ready, you let me know.
I want none of the smoke.
No.
In any
I love
arena
that.
with you, I want no smoke. You were a killer at Jacksonville
Thank you.
University. I mean, you were a killer in high school. Your favorite WNBA player right now?
Erica Willer.
Okay.
Erica Willer. I love me
Okay.
some Skylar Diggins as well. The Storm is killing it right now.
Cool.
The Storm. Hot.
Good storm, right?
Yes.
It all
I
plays
love that.
in.
Yes.
I absolutely love it. Just an overall, what should fans expect overall on Sunday at Evolution?
Oh man, a jam-packed show full of superstar, all-star women going out there showing you exactly what we came here to do. You know, represent for the women. Some spectacular outfits, spectacular matches. You know, we're not holding back, and this is just the beginning to the women's evolution.
You heard it here first from the Queen. Sunday, July 13th, State Farm Arena. Anything else before we go?
Oh yes, we have also a couple of shows. We have main event on Saturday at 7:30 at the State Farm Arena, and also we have NXT Saturday as well at 2:30 at the center stage.
Right. Great American Bash. We're excited. I actually caught up with Goldberg last week.
Yes.
Very excited. And of course, for her to take on Naomi. Finally, probably close that chapter.
Yes.
Jay, thank you so much.
No,
for your
thank
time.
you for
Appreciate
having
you.
me.
Yeah, you guys, Saturday night was absolutely crazy with Gunther and Goldberg, but it's going to be even better with Jade and Naomi. I can't wait to see her win. That's what we're rooting for here on Fox 5 Atlanta. We really have no stakes in the game, but you know, she does have those Georgia ties. It's only right. Just so you all know, that starts at 6:30 p.m. tonight. And again, that is the Evolution, WWE's groundbreaking all-women's event. All right. The events aside, we do have to talk about something pretty serious. I have an update for you all on the Texas flooding. We did learn that today it is raining again in that area that has already been hit hard. You know, July 4th weekend, I believe we saw 20 inches of rain, about 30 feet of water rising that ended up killing a lot of people in the Caryville, Texas region. I think that death toll has risen to 129 people, and it is expected to get even higher. So we will be keeping our eyes out on that. You know, the world continues to pray for Texas Hill Country. There are a lot of people out there aiding in the recovery. Another big update for you all is that Fox viewers, some of y'all who might be streaming out with us right now, have already donated millions of dollars to help those affected by that deadly 4th of July weekend flooding. And if you do still want to help out, we have information on our website. We also have information on Instagram, on Facebook, about how you can give back. So a lot of people are still wondering when it comes to that flooding, you know, how could something so devastating happen so quickly? And I wanted to know if something like that is possible here on our home front here in Georgia. Flooding is possible, I do know that, but to this scale and this magnitude, that's what I wanted to know. So I got to sit down with an expert from Georgia Tech. He's a flood expert, and he explained a little bit more about, you know, how this happened so quickly, the potential for it to happen in our area, and just gave us a little bit more insight on the forecasting and the alert system that was in place out in Texas. We will have more on that when we get back to you after this break. guys, last week, Central Texas faced probably one of the deadliest floods in just about a century, where uh, 20 inches of rain, maybe more in some areas, fell. We saw at least 30 feet of water grow within the hour. And so joining us is Dr. Herman Fritz from Georgia Tech. He's an expert in extreme flood behavior, and he'll be talking to us about, how something like this could happen and what it means for communities across the country. Dr. Fritz, thank you so much for joining us here on Fox Local.
Thank you for having me.
So I know that there are going to be people out there who don't grasp how big something like this is. Can you talk to the rarity and severity of an incident like this?
Yeah, flash floods are a huge danger for campers and population along waterways, and they're hard to predict. So the meteorological models have made a lot of progress for larger systems like hurricanes and so forth in order to have a good forecast. That's been a huge improvement there since Hurricane Katrina. However, one of the grand challenges in forecast is still to forecast these local thunderstorms and then also the ensuing flash floods on a very local level. So the further upstream you go in a river basin, the more difficult this gets. And unfortunately, the majority of the victims here along the Guadalupe River are on that south fork of that river where the Camp Mystic is located. And that is among the two forks that form the Guadalupe River, the North Fork and the South Fork. That is the smaller of the two. When it's quite kind of dry, like in Texas, the vegetation cannot absorb a whole lot of rainfall, and the soil, when it's dry, will basically then let the water pretty much run off. The area is also characterized by these limestone banks and so forth, which kind of channels the river along that area, which will then basically result in pretty rapid rises of in a flash flood.
So, Dr. Fritz, you gave us a beautiful big picture, and I want to focus in on a couple of the different factors here at play. So, let's start with the location. I understand that this area is often called Flash Flood Alley. What makes places like Hill Country, you named some of those aspects already, but what makes places like Hill Country so uniquely at risk when that heavy rain starts to fall?
Yeah, so the first one, of course, it's called Hill Country for a reason, right? Topography. Okay, so the steeper the topography is, the quicker these flash floods are going to be. So if you have an alpine environment, it can be even quicker. Okay, so in steep mountain valleys, and so forth, it can be more dramatic even than in the hill country. However, the hill country has quite channeled rivers due to these limestone banks, which basically means once you get that water into that channel, it cannot really bank back out without basically just engulfing whatever's in that channel. And those are, among other things, in those channels are all these campgrounds and RV grounds and so forth. So you can be on the water for recreation purposes. That is desired, but it's also inside the flood zone. The other big aspect is that the grounds are dry, which basically means, as a rule of thumb, generally around the world, and if you have good soil, a lot of vegetation, you can probably absorb the first couple of inches, maybe 2 inches of rainfall with the soil and the vegetation. Now, if it's a dry soil, then that is going to run off immediately. So there is no retention in the soil. That's going to accelerate and exacerbate things. So goes quicker from the inception of rainfall until you get to the flood, essentially. The other thing, of course, is you need to be near a big source of water. Okay, where is that water coming from? Well, it's coming from the Gulf. Okay, so you basically typically have, this moisture, hot, humid air from the Gulf of Mexico, Gulf of America, essentially carries like an atmospheric river, essentially carries that moisture inland. And then the first topography you hit is that hill country. And so it's very likely that you're going to get dumps of that moisture in the form of rainfall over the hill country. And then you get all these factors like the dryness, the topography, the channeling of the rivers that essentially results in a large flash flood risk.
Got it. All right, well, Dr. Fritz, I went back through some of our coverage and on YouTube, and I looked through the comment section. One thing that a lot of people wanted to know is, I guess the bigger question is, how could something like this happen? And so a lot of people were asking, was it an issue of not being notified in advance? And people said that that is the truth. So now you've worked on early warning systems around the world, right? What are the kinds of alert systems that are the most effective when you have a fast moving flood like this one?
Yeah, so as I tried to allude to a little bit, one of the grand challenges is predicting and forecasting these thunderstorms. And that is one of the things where there are still deficiencies in the models in terms of being able to pinpoint exactly where these thunderstorms are going to be. And typically, it's not just one thunderstorm, but as you know, from around here in the south, you're going to have multiple next to each other. That depends how quickly they move and so forth. So that is one of the big challenges. Now, as we go downstream, the big advantage downstream is that there's some time, and then there's also gauges that we can actually measure what's coming. So we know what's coming in the next couple of hours. But unfortunately, the further upstream you go, then it becomes a cost issue. If you want to instrument every single branch of a river, then that's going to increase the cost quite significantly because you're going to have to monitor these different branches. And unfortunately, with the Guadalupe River, only the North Fork branch of the river has a station, but the South Fork doesn't, for example. Okay, and the South Fork is where our Camp Mystic was. So there were rain gauges that were measuring the amount of rain, but those are essentially like buckets. They're basically point sensors. Okay, so they basically just accumulate very locally what you have. And then you have to extrapolate to what you have, over the entire watershed, which can be done part with radar and so forth, but there are some challenges with that as well. But if you go all the way up to where the river originates, which is pretty much, the last 20 miles here of that South Fork, which is pretty much where the bulk of the tragedy happened, then there is a very small area and there's no monitoring of the actual discharge that's coming. So there's no warning for the people in the sense that there are early warnings. You're going to expect in the next couple of hours a certain amount of rain, but they're not necessarily going to be able to pinpoint that exactly. Now, just to give you an idea here, the explosion in discharge, just to think of this, is a few cubic feet per second, okay, in that South Fork before midnight on July, before July 4th begins, the early morning on July the 4th and to the 4th. And then within the hour, this explodes to, 10,000 times that, a little bit downstream, 1,000 times that very quickly. So we have 1,000 to 10,000 times the amount of water, depending on where we're measuring now, going through that river system. That is unfathomable in terms of how we go from totally dry or pretty much totally dry. The only water that's there before is really water that's pretty much retained by these weir structures along the way, which are essentially there to create recreational pools, recreational reservoirs, lakes, or impound part of that river so that it's enjoyable. But it's pretty much dry before, and then essentially we go to thousands, 10,000s of cubic feet per second in that South Fork. And if one compares the gauges that are available in terms of measuring the discharge, then just at Hunt, Texas, where essentially the North and the South Fork all the way upstream come together, somewhere in the order of 100,000 cubic feet per second. So that's the big challenge is the further upstream you go, there's just very little you can do because there's very little time. And then unless you have instrumentation in place upstream, you will not get a last minute, a last 10-minute, a last 30-minute warning of what's coming. So instrumentation would be recommended upstream of these large camps. If there are a lot of people, actually, in particular children, camping on that branch, that would be a way to improve things. I think for the very local forecasts on a very small granular level, one really has to rely on also observation and not just large-scale models that can do some forecasting. One can try to do some forecasting and some predictions, but they're never going to be super precise when it comes down to very small areas.
Mm-hmm. All right, Dr. Fritz, this is all very highbrow, and I want to bring it back down to a lower level to make sure that all of our audience is sticking with us and can understand what's really at play here. Let's hyper-localize it, because yes, we are talking about Texas, but we do have some areas here in Georgia that are prone to flooding. For example, Savannah is one of those areas. And so I just wonder, with this and how scary it was, and the images, the death toll continuing to rise, we still don't have a concrete number just yet. How likely is this to happen in Georgia?
Yeah, so in Georgia, these kind of rainfall totals, they are totally possible in Georgia. Okay, so for example, in 2016, Hurricane Joaquin didn't have no effects offshore, but it dumped close to 2 feet of rain near Columbia, South Carolina. Okay, just across the state border in South Carolina, but in central South Carolina. So that is, 2 feet of rain. In 48 hours. So that is more than we had here in Texas, for example. Okay, so we totally can have 10 inches, 12 inches of rain and so forth. That is not a problem. We also saw this during the hurricanes. With the hurricanes last year, last year we had in Atlanta 11 inches of rain, something around that in a very short time period. So those kind of rainfalls are totally in the realm of the possibilities in Georgia. There's no question there. Even bigger rainfalls than that are possible.
Do you think then that the difference would be our infrastructure and our ability to get those notifications out? Why haven't we seen and maybe I'm ignorant to it, but why haven't we seen the deaths as Texas has just a week ago?
Yeah, so the topography in South Georgia, Savannah, you mentioned Savannah is of course totally flat, so things move slower when you flood. Savannah has a huge storm surge risk from the hurricane, and there's a riverine risk, but that water flows very slowly, so that someone has more time to alert. Central Georgia and also Atlanta, yeah, there is some topography, but it's not as channeling as in some other areas yet, like in the hill country in Texas, where we have kind of these limestone banks, and it essentially kind of forms canyons where essentially this water meanders through with very little space to expand. So it comes down to the topography, which there is some topography here, but it's not quite as pronounced in terms of the channeling as we have in the hill country. And then we have more vegetation here. So we have a lot more vegetation. It's a lot more humid. Our soil is more capable of absorbing the first couple of inches. So typically when it rains, the first inch or two gets just absorbed, retained by the soil before we actually start to get that runoff. But now with the hill country, because it's usually so dry, there's no retention by the soil. It's basically whatever falls with the rain will immediately run off.
Got you. All right, well, thank you for helping us break this down, also helping us hyper-localize it so that we out here, our audience who's streaming with us, has a better sense of, what happened, how likely it is to happen here, and we'll get them some more information on what they can do in case flooding or any type of destruction comes their way. I do want to remind everybody that you can download the Fox Weather app. That'll give you a better look at your forecast with our Fox 5 Storm team. You can also download the Fox Local app. That'll get you those emergency ready alerts when you need them the most right to your phone. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We will be right back.
You can listen to Fox 5 live on the Fox 5 Radio 1 network. Just tune your HD radio to 107.9 HD2 FM.
guys, welcome back to Fox 5 News Now. Before the break, I gave you some breaking news happening out in Texas. This is Kerr County that we're talking about, the exact area that flooded about a week ago, that deadly flooding where the death toll's up to about 129. We did just find out that there are some flood alerts in that area for today. We don't expect that to be as big as last week's event was, but I did want to let you know that that area apparently will be flooding again today. The rain has started. All right, so moving back on to the home front where things are happening here in Georgia, our Lindsay Tuman has been out on breaking news all morning long at a hotel in Decatur that is under fire for some pretty heinous accusations. Lindsay, what can you tell us about this case?
Hey, good morning to you, Judea. We're actually out here at the federal courthouse in downtown where a verdict was handed down on Friday, awarding a survivor of sex trafficking $40 million from a Decatur hotel. The jury found that hotel ignored sex trafficking happening on the property, and that's what resulted ultimately in this verdict. This is what's being called a unprecedented move. My apologies, as my tripod here works to cooperate with us. But an attorney we spoke to for that survivor of sex trafficking said that this is the first time a case like this has gone to a jury trial, and that is why this was so important to see it go all the way through the process to this extent. And this was a 5-year legal process in the making. So breaking this down, now the owners of the United Inn and Suites in Decatur, those owners are Northbrook Industries Incorporated, have to pay $40 million to a survivor who was sex trafficked on the property between 2018 and 2019. The survivor's attorney says hotel staff knew minors were being sex trafficked there on the property and turned a blind eye. He said some of this was happening even out in the parking lot of that hotel, not even necessarily behind closed doors. He says they turned a blind eye for profit. At the trial, the attorneys representing the hotel claimed their staff had no idea, but ultimately the jury ruled against them, setting a new precedent for cases like this in Georgia and across the country. And the attorney for that survivor says that's what's so important, that hopefully the industries are paying attention to this to lessen sex trafficking in the future. One of the things he says really helps the case was explaining who these victims are. Take a listen.
We had an expert testify on this. One of the things that we also hope that makes a statement is there still is some misconception of sex trafficking. I think some people still see the movies and think there's some foreign person brought over on a boat and they're chained up somewhere. And it's not that. And I think our expert was really good at being able to explain to this jury 80% of these people are children right here in our community. These are our kids. These are kids. And you know what's the difference of them and like someone who's doing pretty good? They're vulnerable. They've already had a bad break. They've had some problem at home. They've got, a missing parent. There's some breakdown there. And teenagers are vulnerable to begin with. But you throw that on top of, some, societal vulnerability, and then they run away and they're on the street. And these traffickers, they're just good. People think that they're grabbing kids at the mall, putting them in trunks. They're not doing that. They're coming up and saying, what can I do to help you? Hey, you look beautiful. I love you. Can I help you do this? Hey, you want to stay with me at the room? I got you covered. And sometimes give them drugs. And then ultimately they're like, hey, now, you owe me. And they flip it. And then all of a sudden they introduce violence. And it's hard for them to get out.
And that's also why he said he doesn't know anyone who's more deserving of a verdict like this, that $40 million verdict going to a survivor of these circumstances. Now, we did reach out to the hotel for comment on this case. They told us that the owner wasn't available to make a comment to us. So if we do hear back, we'll keep you updated on that. And unfortunately, cases like this are not unique. In fact, the same attorney says he has another case, very similar set of circumstances, going to trial in just about a week or two. Reporting live in downtown, I'm Lindsay Tuman, Judea. Back to you.
Lindsay, thank you so much. With this verdict in, I would like to see how things turn out for his case that he's trying later on this week, or about a week or two, as you mentioned. We will definitely keep an eye out on that. Thank you again. All right, so we want to get you guys a look at your forecast really quick. If you are trying to make some plans for the day or for the rest of your week, let's get out to Fox 5 Storm Team meteorologist Alex Forbes for a closer look.
Today, the mercury and the thermometers, they are going up here in the metro right now. 85 in Atlanta, 84 over in Covington, 86 in Eatonton, 83 in Athens. Caitlin and I were joking all morning. We're going to take the show on the road to either Blairsville or Blue Ridge because they've been our cool spots through the whole morning hours. But look at this, 10:07 in the morning, all right? It feels like 99 in Eatonton right now. Putnam County, almost the triple-digit mark. 90 in Atlanta, 91 the heat index now in Covington, 90 in Athens, and 90 in Gainesville. So it is sure to be a scorcher today. We do have a heat advisory in effect. This is going to be from east of Athens down through Lake Country, Lake Oconee, and Sinclair, over towards Monroe County and down into Upson County. Heat index values up to 105. Technically kicks in at 11 a.m., but look, it's hot right now, and it's going to remain hot through the day today. Look for high temperatures between 95 and 96 in Athens, 97 in Eatonton, 93 in Griffin, 93 in Noonan. Maybe not quite as hot up in Blairsville, hanging on to 89 up there. Our average high temperature for this time of year is about 90 degrees. Now, Fox 5 Live Viper, all quiet. I am expecting to see some radar activity this afternoon, but not comparable to what's going on, once again, in central Texas. I want to bring you down to what's going on over here. So, yeah, not a great situation, once again, for central Texas. These flashing green boxes are flash flood warnings. A lot of heavy rain right now in Kerr County, which today I was just telling you about, was where we had over 120 people pass away from flooding just about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. Now, as we track this here through the morning hours, I'm going to be keeping an eye on what's going on out there. Back here in North Georgia, 30% chance of rain today, 20% for Monday. That's going to be on the climb, 40% for Tuesday, 60% on Wednesday and Thursday. That Tuesday forecast does include the All-Star game, so I'm not promising dry conditions for Tuesday night. First pitch, though, is at 8 o'clock. We're going to talk more about that coming up in a little bit. But Judea, as we find our way towards the back half of the week, not quite as hot. It's still going to be hot. Don't get me wrong. But it's just not as hot for the end of the week.
Listen, I'll take what I can get.
That's what you got.
Thank you for the update, Alex. We're going to back into the studio. You know, at the top of the hour, we did bring you guys an update on some breaking news that federal jury that decided to award the child sex trafficking victim $40 million in damages. And as our reporter, Lindsay Tuman, told you, that it was not at all a unique case. This is something that happens quite often that unfortunately goes, you know, unchecked. And here in Atlanta, they're also looking at the possibility of a surge in sex trafficking now that we are well underway for the All-Star game this week. And, you know, we've had All-Star Village this weekend. So let me explain a little bit more. There are billboards put up around the metro Atlanta area from Rights for Girls. They're leading that billboard campaign in order to deter sex buyers and try to raise awareness about the risks of sex trafficking during large-scale events like this one with Major League Baseball. Unfortunately, it's usually vulnerable children, often from foster care, or, you know, marginalized communities that are at the greatest risk for these types of crimes. But it really could also happen to anyone, as the gentleman in Lindsay's package explained. And so, like I mentioned, we have these billboards up around town. If you use the link that is seen there, you can get some more information on how to spot possible sex trafficking and what to do if you do see it. Another headline in our area, Georgia is getting ready to purge nearly 478,000 inactive voters. So what's that about? About 500,000 Georgia voter registrations are at risk of being canceled. That's because the Secretary of State's office has mailed out letters to those inactive voters. And if you did get one of those letters, or you do get one in the next coming days, you have 40 days to respond. That really, it isn't that much time if you think about it. The chief operating officer for the Georgia Secretary of State's office says that this is going to help Georgia maintain its status of having one of the most accurate voter registrations in the nation. They want to make sure that everybody who is on their list, on their roll, is actually eligible, still lives here, and, you know, can vote in the next election. But other people say that canceling these registrations could inadvertently remove eligible voters. Let's hear some from some of those people.
The risk is that this activity then ends up disenfranchising people who are eligible voters.
Meanwhile, you know, this Tuesday, if you were unaware, is Election Day. Runoff for the Public Service Commission will get underway. The election is between former Atlanta City Council member Keisha Waits and Peter Hubbard in the District 3 Democratic primary. Now, neither one of those candidates got more than 50% of the vote back in June. So unfortunately, we've heard that turnout wasn't that great in the first round. So we are hoping to get more people out there to the polls. And speaking of getting outside, Beyoncé is back at Mercedes-Benz Stadium tonight. This is for night 3 of the Cowboy Carter tour. Georgia is expected to show up and show out tonight. So if you are trying to get down there, maybe you live in the area, you're going to want to pack your patience. I'm sorry, there's going to be a lot of traffic, especially for the next couple of days. So if you're heading to the show, parking lots open at 2 p.m. Gates open at 5:30, and the music is expected to start at 8. City leaders, as we have told you guys for the last couple of days, are urging people to use MARTA. They say that's going to be your best bet if you want to avoid the traffic, if you want to make sure you get to the concert on the time, and you make sure you want to get there safely. MARTA is going to be running extra trains before and after each show. Now, if you are going to opt in for a rideshare service, your drop-off location is going to be Zone 1, which is located on the North Side Drive in front of the Georgia World Congress Center, Building C. And don't forget about the stadium's clear bag policy. I know you bought that new bag that you think looks really cute, but you're not going to be able to get it in if it is not clear. So make sure that you are following the bag policy. Now, you guys, I'm going to get you a quick break, but when we come back, I want to get you the scoop on the poop out at Zoo Atlanta. It's a fun event underway for the kids. We'll get that when we come back from this break. Hey guys, welcome back into Fox 5 News Now on the Fox Local app. I'm Judea Murray. You've got me for the next 45 minutes or so. We have a couple of cool events happening around the metro Atlanta area. One of them is happening at Zoo Atlanta, and I'm going to try my hardest not to laugh and be a child, but we're getting the scoop on the poop with Eli Jordan at Zoo Atlanta. Eli, tell me what's going on out there.
Hey, Judea. Yeah, well, I mean, you know, it's Grossology today. It's going on until 3 p.m. and it's really cool. You can learn a lot about poop, which, you know, is cool, I guess. But I'm out here next to the elephant exhibit too, which is there's a lot of poop at the elephant exhibit. You can come out here and check it out. But it's not all about poop. They do things like, natural feeding. There's some vultures that are going to be fed, like some dead carcasses, and they're going to demonstrate how the vultures feed. But I have with me the person who is responsible for the Grossology and all the poop here at the zoo, Kimberly Rogers. Hey, Kimberly, how are you?
Hey, good. How are you?
Doing all right. And so you're an education specialist here at the zoo, right?
Correct. Yes, I'm a part of the interpretive programs team.
Cool. And so this is the 4th annual Grossology.
Yes, it is.
And what is Grossology?
Grossology. So it's basically it's a word that means the study of gross things. But Grossology Day is kind of a celebration of all of those gross things. So people look at animals and might think, ew, about some of the things they do. But we want to show the fascinating part of it and allow people to connect to that side of nature.
And so, yeah, I mean, people out here watching, they might see some bathroom moments, I guess.
Absolutely.
But there's a lot that can be learned about an animal from studying the poop, right?
Absolutely, yes. And actually, we have one of our activities. It's called the Amazing Uses of Poop, and we kind of dive into that. So here at the zoo, when an animal goes poo, as they often do, we'll obviously have to collect that. Then for certain animals, we'll collect it. We might take samples. We might analyze it as needed. And then kind of in the long term, we can compost certain animals' poo. We used to actually do that here at the zoo. It was called packy poo. And then some places will actually turn that into paper. But in addition to the animal poo, just kind of analyzing it, so with that amazing uses of poop, one of our games, we learn about how other animals might use that poop or feces.
So, I mean, what would you say is the most interesting food of an animal? I would say, like, I always find it interesting when you go outside and you see maybe raptor poop. Mm-hmm. And you're like, oh, well, that was an owl or a hawk, because you see bones and fur. I mean, do you have I think that's kind of neat and interesting poop. I might be reaching there, but I mean, do you being more of an expert about this, do you have any favorite poop, I guess?
So I just really love talking about animal poop in general and how that's specific to the animal. So one thing is our giant otters, excuse me. They actually, with their poop, they use that to make their territory. So a group of otters, they will poop and then they will spread that around. It's called spranting. And they kind of are creating their own animal group scent to let other otters that aren't part of their group know that, oh, this is not my space. I shouldn't go here. Otherwise, I'm going to have trouble. We've actually seen some of our otters do that here. So it's really fun watching them kind of move around the poop to act territorial. So we really love when we're seeing those natural behaviors here.
I think my mom's told me some stories of me doing that when I was a baby and stuff, and moving poop around. Mm-hmm. And I don't think it was quite as fun for her. But now otters are quite gangster and stuff. They're very territorial, aren't they?
Yeah, they're known as the giant otters specifically are known as river wolves.
Cool. Yeah, I've had a few stalk me before too. When I've been fishing in Alaska, they see that I have fish and they're like coming after me. I'm like, all right, I'm scared of you guys. Mm-hmm. But also though, we have the feeding of the vultures. We mentioned that later on today, right?
Yes. So later on today, the vultures are going to get some larger prey items. I think they're going to get a rabbit. But our Komodo dragon is also going to get quite a large naturalistic feeding later today as well. I'm going to get a naturalistic feeding of a good portion of a pig. And that's going to be zip line. So you're really going to be able to see Rinka, our Komodo dragon, demonstrate some of those naturalistic hunting behaviors and eating behaviors. So that's a really cool opportunity to see him get to express those natural behaviors.
And Komodo dragon eating, that sounds like it could be fairly impressive. So, I mean, of course, diet, I mean, you got to know, diet goes right along with the food.
Absolutely, yes. So what goes in is going to come out. And here at the zoo, obviously, we know what we're feeding our animals, but we can still use that poop to learn what we need to. But in the wild, what they'll do is conservationists or researchers, they can collect feces, scat, dung, whatever you want to call it, out in the wild. They can collect that so that they can learn about what that animal is eating and what their diet looks like.
So it can be called scat, dung, poop.
scat,
Crap.
dung, poop,
Guano.
feces, guano, pellets.
Pellets, yeah.
Lots of words for lots of different animals because poop's not just it comes in all shapes and sizes based on the animal diet and the animal internal system and how they're able to, get that food through their system.
So why would, do you know, I mean, this might be thrown at you. Why is it called bear scat? And, what makes scat scat or?
That is a great question, and I'm not going to lie to you. That's not one that I know. I just use them all interchangeably.
Gotcha.
For the most part.
Yeah, because that's what everybody says. I guess bear poop doesn't sound mean enough.
Maybe it just doesn't sound as professional.
If you see it, you better scat out of there, and because it's a danger. Well, awesome. Thank you so much, Kimberly, for this poop information, and it's really cool that you guys are doing this because that's something that.
I think we lost him. Hey, it actually looks like we lost Eli for a second. Coming back into studio. Like I said, I'm trying not to laugh at all of this because while it is a funny topic, it is cool that they are getting the educational aspect to things. I just know when I was a kid, poop was one of those topics we did not talk about in the household. My mom is probably streaming with us right now, and she is cringing. We do have him back. I'm going to let him finish up real quick. Eli, sorry to cut you off. Did you want to finish up with us?
That's cool.
All right.
I was wrapping up right then. Just I had a little bad cable here. I'm gonna have to get a new cable before next week. But yeah, that's it. I mean, this is going on until 3 p.m. If you want to learn about Grossology at Zoo Atlanta, come on down here. You got till 3 p.m. And any other day, you can go to zooatlanta.org and check it out. They got all sorts of events down here, and learn about the elephant poop, learn about a vulture being fed, or a Komodo dragon being fed, and just about how it all works. All the unspoken things at the zoo that you've always wanted to know.
Yeah,
it's
all the
happening today.
unspoken.
Grossology till 3 p.m.
Thank you so much, Eli. All right, real quick, I do want to let you know there is a way for you to find out all of the cool things that are happening around our area, right around you. We do have a Things to Do tab on the fox5atlanta.com website. Our Joyce Lupiani puts together these lists every single week, and guys, it's pretty cool. She categorizes them by the type of event it is. So, for example, she has a theater part, an art part, music, sports. Of course, we have been following the All-Star Village. We have the WWE tonight in State Farm Arena. We have a lot of other events coming up soon. But again, here is where you can find a whole list of them with the links and how much these events cost. All right. We are going to get you a quick break. When we come back, we want to talk with our Lindsay Tuman, who has been on some breaking news and a big update in Decatur. We'll come back. guys, welcome back to Fox 5 News Now. Again, my name is Judea Murray. We have been talking and following a breaking update in a big case here in Georgia. A federal jury in Atlanta has decided to award a child sex trafficking victim $40 million in damages, and we understand that that is a pretty big number and a pretty big verdict. We have our Lindsay Tuman out giving us more information on this case. Lindsay, what have you learned?
Hey, good morning to you, Judea. Well, this verdict came out from the federal courthouse here in downtown on Friday, certainly setting a big precedent. In fact, the attorney for that survivor of child sex trafficking says he doesn't know of any other case that has made it through this whole jury process, let alone result in a settlement like this $40 million. Now, what this does is this instructs the hotel, this Decatur hotel, to pay the victim that price because they say the hotel ignored sex trafficking that was happening on the property for years. They say this happened between 2018 and 2019 over at the United Inn and Suites. The owners of that property, Northbrook Industries Incorporated, are the ones that are going to have to pay that hefty price tag. The survivor's attorney says hotel staff knew children, minors, were being sex trafficked on the property. In some cases, it was even happening outside in the parking lot. And they say they turned a blind eye to this in order to profit. At trial, the attorneys representing the hotel say that was not the case. They claim their staff had no idea this was happening, but ultimately the jury ruled against them, setting a new precedent for cases like this across Georgia and across the country. And the attorney for the survivor of sex trafficking says he hopes that people in the insurance industry and hospitality industries were paying attention to this case, seeing that it's not going to be tolerated moving forward, and that it will help ultimately crack down or at least slow down on sex trafficking, especially at these kind of properties that can generate a lot of become a hot spot for this kind of behavior. He says it's not necessarily important that they be experts in this area, but that they're at least taking steps in order to prevent it if they see concerning action. Take a listen to how he describes that.
I believe they're watching. I think the whole hospitality is watching. I think the insurance industry is watching. And what I hope the impact is that they're going to tell their people, you've got to train your staff. You've got to train your staff. You don't sell condoms to 16-year-olds when they come up to the front desk. You need to verify, does this look right that there's kids in this room by themselves and 20 men have gone in and out, in every 30-minute clips. You have cameras where you don't just have cameras up, but you monitor the cameras, right? It's not really that hard. Like sometimes you don't have to have a PhD in identifying sex trafficking. You just got to care.
Obviously, we know what we're feeding them, but we're able to kind of analyze and look at that. But in the wild,
sorry about the end of that audio there. But again, just driving home the importance of this happening, of this verdict happening for what might be the first time across the whole country, according to this attorney. Certainly one that's going to generate a precedent in future cases like this. And unfortunately, this is not altogether uncommon. The same attorney actually has another very similar case that he's bringing to trial in the next few weeks as well. Now, I do want to mention we did reach out to this hotel asking them for comment. They said the owners weren't available to make a comment to us. If we do hear from them, of course, we'll keep you updated and on future cases like this as well. But for now, that's the very latest live here in downtown Judea. I'll send it back to you.
Lindsay, thank you so much. And as you mentioned, this isn't that uncommon. In fact, when there are really big sports events happening, they say that sex trafficking could surge. We are seeing that we're seeing that as we are preparing for the All-Star weekend in the Village happening out in Cobb County. And speaking of All-Star Village, I know a lot of you are going to want to get out there and have a good old time. But weather is going to be something that plays a really important role in how you have the rest of your day scheduled out. So let's get over to our meteorologist, Alex Forbes, for a closer look at your All-Star weekend forecast.
Yeah, Judea, this is going to last into Tuesday, right? The good thing about the All-Star Village is that it's inside and out of the heat. But the baseball games, they are not. They're going to be happening right there at Truist Park as we work our way into Monday and Tuesday, the Home Run Derby being Monday night and Tuesday being the actual day of the All-Star game. Here's where things stand right now in Atlanta. 85, sunny skies. You see only just one or two puffy white clouds out there, and that's it. That dew point at 71. So it is sticky, and it's going to continue to be sticky, and it's probably going to be sticky for the baseball games. All right, so the Home Run Derby tomorrow at 8 o'clock, looking for a first pitch temperature still right around 90. The rain chance for tomorrow is not quite as high, only at about 20%. Then on Tuesday, first pitch once again at 8 o'clock, looking for mid to upper 80s, getting into the lower 80s through the course of the game. Now, what I'm going to do is take you over to our Fox weather model here, and what it's going to show you is a couple of isolated showers for tomorrow. There's your Fox, or your Home Run Derby forecast there, 7 o'clock. Yep, a couple of scattered showers there. Then as we find our way into Tuesday, all right, here we are at 5 p.m. This is the latest run here. You see the All-Star game right there in Cobb County. There will be scattered showers and storms around. It's not all bad news. If we catch a shower or a storm, then that's going to help drop the temperature. But the flip side is it's probably going to make it a little more humid. Here's the best part about the forecast. 96 for Monday and Tuesday is the peak heating of the day. That is not necessarily going to be your game time temperatures. I showed you that's going to be a little closer to 90. And speaking of which, our high temperatures there for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. There we go with a 60% chance of storms. High temperatures coming down a little more seasonal for this time of year. Jay?
All right, thank you, Alex, for giving us an update on our forecast. You guys, if you are trying to get out there for All-Star Weekend, you know, we have a lot coming up. For example, this Tuesday, we have some All-Star Game preview coverage on Fox Local. That starts at 3 p.m. But if you're still antsy about getting out there today, we know our Studio Ubudeo, who's part of the Fox 5 sports team, will be out covering the MLB draft for 2025, and that's going to be pretty exciting. Hopefully we have some things for you on fox5atlanta.com as well as the Fox Local app. Meanwhile, coming up soon, we want to get you out to Piedmont Park, where in just about 30 minutes, I believe, we're going to have the Donut Fest, and we sent our Caitlin Pratt out there to maybe even taste test some of the sweet treats out there for you guys. We'll see what she has to bring us after this break. Hey guys, welcome back to Fox 5 News Now. I'm Judea Murray, and I've got a pretty sweet treat in store for you. We are going to go out to our reporter, Caitlin Pratt, who is at Piedmont Park, where in just a little while there's going to be a pretty tasty event underway. Caitlin, tell us more about your event today.
Hey, good morning to you. This is perfect, and it's free entry. Once you get in, though, you're going to want to pay up for some donuts, some sweet treats. Let me go ahead and switch the camera so you can see exactly what we're working with here. A whole lot of vendors. Okay, this is the first and hopefully annual Atlanta Donut Festival, opening in about a half hour's time. It's free admission, as I mentioned, until 5 p.m. You can come on down to Piedmont Park, and let me give you a look at the setup that's already underway here. And if you're familiar with Piedmont Park, this is a setup. The setup is all along the water here at the park. I started walking near the pool, and it goes all the way to the exit. So we got a lot of stuff here, talking about 30 donut vendors. And then, of course, you're looking at a dessert truck here as we pass by here. I saw a lot of other vendors as well. Maybe you like frozen lemonade. Maybe you're an Italian ice kind of person. How about a specialty drink? Yes, free refill and a pineapple. I like the sound of that, that's for sure. But you definitely want to pack your sunscreen, bring some water too, because, oh boy, it's toasty out here, even though there is a nice breeze, that's for sure. As I mentioned, this is the first annual Donut Festival, and a whole lot of people have already signed up to get involved in this. 50 vendors with their sweet treats, desserts, other main course offerings, as well as those donut makers, 30 of them as well. I saw a lot of vendors too selling their wares. Maybe you're interested in picking up some local honey or some arts and crafts. Those are also vendors here setting up as we speak. So basically just a fun-filled bonanza all about donuts, featuring some unique treats, vendors, and of course, just a great time. Perfect for families, perfect for foodies, perfect for you, Judea. And I'm gonna keep my eyes peeled for your favorite donut. Let me know what kind you want.
Oh, Kaylin, you know just the way to my heart. It is definitely through my stomach with food. I have to say, my favorite donuts, I'm a simple girl. It's going to be Krispy Kreme, but it has to be hot when the hot and ready sign is on. Hey. If it's not on, pop it in the microwave for like 3 seconds. You don't need more than that.
3 seconds?
Perfect.
Okay. Very particular, very specific. I like that.
What's your favorite kind of donut, Caitlin?
I'm more of just like a simple girl. I like a chocolate cake donut, but today might inspire me to branch out a little bit once I get to see more options here.
Yeah, you have to try new things. You might be surprised. It was kind of cool. I was looking at the trucks as you were walking through. It looks like there are a lot of different options, not just donuts. I saw regular food. You showed the lemonade, the pineapple. Hey.
Sushi.
Yum. So basically, there, like you said, something for everybody.
100%. And we'll still, we'll keep investigating and keep you guys updated on the stream. But yeah, Piedmont Park, parking is going to be a little bit of a hassle because it always is. We're in Atlanta, obviously. So if you can, bike down, walk down, ride share down, and your nearest parking deck is going to be at the Botanical Garden. That's your best option as far as actual parking is concerned. Again, though, free admission, and we'll be here until 5 p.m. tonight.
Beautiful. And thank you so much for that tip on parking. I know somebody out there is really appreciative of that little sneak treat, little tip. Thank you so much, Caitlin. We are hoping we will be able to get back out there with her a little later on, but if not, you will definitely see a lot more on the Donut Fest in the 11 o'clock hour when it actually opens up. You did see a couple of people out there at the trucks, but I'm sure you're going to see a lot more people going through Piedmont Park just to get their hands on a nice little sweet treat like that. All right, you guys, I'm going to get you a quick break. When we come back, I hope you're ready for your close-up, excuse me, because we have Casting Call. It's a show all about making sure that you are booked, busy, and paid this summer and throughout the rest of the year. We'll have that when we come back. guys, welcome back to Fox 5 News Now. You're streaming with us on Fox Local. We have now entered the time for Casting Call.
Yes, we have.
I'm Judea Murray.
I'm Tess Hammock.
And our whole goal with Casting Call is to make sure that you are booked and busy.
We do try.
So let's start with some of the casting opportunities here in the Metro Atlanta area. If you're interested in acting, here's a cool role for you.
I love this one. So normally we have a lot more castings and then less jobs. We're flipping it this week. So we've got one casting for you, and this one's actually for a cool specialty role. I'm very excited about this one. The folks at Hilton Casting reached out and they said, we've got a really great role coming up. We want to make sure that your audience hears about it. And this one's going to be for a brand new TV show with BET Plus. Of course, that is their streaming service. So a really great service that you've got right there. And so this specialty role is for a baby. The baby. If you've got a baby between the ages of 6 months and 18 months, that's perfect. That's exactly what they're looking for. African American, any gender, but it can be a part of twins, triplets, or individuals. So if you've got any of those, then that works out really well. And this one's actually, today I'm very excited about this because the main character of this show, the adult in this show, is going to be babysitting this baby. And so you're going to be needed for a little while. Yeah, you're going to be needed by the end of July 28th through August. There's some flexible work dates there, but you're going to be filming probably for about a month. Of course, not every day. And then, of course, this is paid. We do try to bring you paid opportunities. That's a lot of work. And you know what? I always think about, Venus and Serena's dad. I always think about Tiger Woods' dad. King Richard. Get them in early. If this is something that maybe you want to have them kind of dip their little baby booty into, dip the toe in there, then this is a really great opportunity. Now, if you're sitting there and you're thinking, well, I either have one of those, I got a baby. I got one of those. I got one of those. Or if you know someone who has a baby that fits this role, you're going to go to hiltoncasting.com/babycastingcall. And what I want you to do is spell Hilton with a Y, not Hilton like the hotel, Hilton with a Y, HYLTON casting.com/babycastingcall. Very fun.
Tess, when I saw this, it made me so antsy because, like I said, I love BET Plus, and I kind of wish we knew what show it was.
Well, they didn't release the name just yet, but we will know soon enough. And hopefully we can see your baby there.
And as, Tess mentioned, normally we bring you a lot of the casting and then we give you just a couple of things behind the scenes, but we want to make sure the people who aren't necessarily interested in being in front of the camera or are just looking for opportunities to meet other people, learn a little bit more, also feel like they're being seen here on Casting Calls. So
absolutely,
jump into some of the jobs.
Love how you prefaced that, Judea. That was great. So we've got 2 jobs for you today. The first one's actually going to be more in the education space of the entertainment industry. This is a professor of industry partnerships. Now, what does that mean? Well, we'll get to it in just a moment. But this is going to be with SCAD Pro, that's Savannah College of Art and Design. It's part of their creative consultantry. It's a boutique consultant agency that's through the Savannah College of Art and Design. What the duties are going to include on this is you're going to be designing coursework and syllabi. You're going to be teaching and creating learning opportunities. You're going to be working with students and SCAD as an industry, creating those partnerships between the college, the university, and then people out in the field. Now, what are those qualifications? You are going to need a degree in a design-related field. You also should have collegiate teaching experience. Now, again, you're going to be working with students, but you're also going to be working with the university and representing them. You can apply at scadcareers.scad.edu. You can find this, plus there are other opportunities there.
Okay, beautiful. Now, this next job that you have seems pretty cool. If you are interested in the world of sports.
You're a sports person.
Tell us a little more about that one.
I played basketball, believe it or not.
I did too.
Come on. Love it.
I feel like we're doing it.
So if you're a basketball fan, this one's for you, especially if you're an NBA fan. We've got an opportunity with the Atlanta Hawks coming your way. Now, what is this opportunity? It's the senior producer. I know sports. You think it's sports. What does this have to do with entertainment? But you know what? All sports teams, all sports companies, they all have an entertainment arm because you know what? Someone's got to make the hype video.
Somebody's got to keep the people interested.
Somebody's got to make the hype video. Now, what does this include to be the senior producer with the Atlanta Hawks? Well, glad you asked. What you're going to be doing is you're going to be the lead on production of sponsored content. Obviously, sports, they have a lot of sponsors, a lot of companies that back those sports teams. You're going to coordinate with legal, PR, basketball ops, social, partnership, and Hawks Studio. Hawks Studio is the in-house entertainment arm for the Hawks. And then you're going to be planning and executing high-level content, among other things. There's a lot of other things that you're going to be doing with this, but that's kind of high level, just to give you a little bit of a bird's eye view, pun intended. So your qualifications, excuse me, I'm sorry, I couldn't. It was low-hanging fruit today. I had to do it. I had to do it. Your qualifications for this are going to be within 5 to 7 years at a creative agency or sports production, and then of course 7 to 9 years in overall creative video production. That's very important because this is a professional sports team. And then, of course, experience with sponsored and comedic content. That's going to be really important as well. If this is something that sounds like you're interested in sports, you're excited about this, you want to join a really great professional organization, you're going to go to nba.com/hawks/true2you. And that's kind of their career initiative, the True to You initiative. And you can find this plus all of their other career opportunities there.
Okay, pretty cool.
It's going to be fun. I'm excited to see that.
Let's move on. This is a part of the show where we like to bring them networking opportunities and other events around the Metro Atlanta area. And I know this first one really hits close for home, especially if you were born and raised in Atlanta.
Absolutely. If you've ever heard of the name Tyler Perry, I'm sure you have, then you probably wonder who casts all of his productions. And that's a person by the name of Raven Drummer. And she is hosting her own class called Master the Audition. And this one's going to be really great because if you want to get into the mind of someone who casts for a big name like Tyler Perry, this is perfect for you. Now, just quickly going through, it's an in-person workshop. You're going to learn things like self-tape feedback and virtual callback practice. Those are really important things to master. Audition technique and preparation. You're going to learn character breakdowns, and then, of course, Q&A with Raven herself. This is going to be held on July 19th at 10 a.m. You're going to be going to the Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. Of course, they have a lot of meeting space there as well. It's a pretty central location, I'd like to think, and everyone knows where it is. You can register by going to eventbrite.com and typing in Master the Audition with Raven Drummer. That's Raven, RHAVYNN, Drummer. And then, of course, you can sign up there and secure your spot. There is a fee associated with this, however. We've always said it's important to invest in yourself. But going to be a really great opportunity for someone. You're going to be able to pick the brain of someone who has worked on some of the biggest shows in the Southeast.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so Tess, before you said that, I honestly did not know that he didn't pick the people himself.
Yeah, sometimes he does, obviously, especially with those really featured roles, but you always have to have a casting director, and she's the one.
Yeah, there have been some pretty amazing people founded, or I guess you could say like scouted through his plays, his movies. So it's pretty cool that you're
100%.
going to get to meet the woman behind the scenes.
I know. We love a little BTS.
Now for our final segment, normally we have you guys submit questions into us, and we'll answer them here on the show to help people figure out what they need to do next in their journey to become the biggest star here in the
Big
Metro
star,
Atlanta
big
area.
star.
But for this one, if you aren't able to find a job right away, I remember one of the episodes before you told me that this is a pretty dark time in the industry.
It's a little bit of a slow season, and that is A-okay. There are times in every industry where it's a little bit slow. I think overall the job market's a little bit slow, and even in ours as well.
Okay. Well, if you are finding that it's a little difficult to get something right away, it looks like we put together a nice little list of...
Yes. So this is really exciting. I do get questions a lot about, hey, I might be, in between gigs right now, or I might need to have another job. Listen, I have another job. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of having multiple streams of income.
As everyone should be.
As everyone should be. Booked, busy, get that bag. But here are some flexible job ideas for actors, and this is especially true even if you're not in a time like this right here. So the first one we have is a server or a bartender, and why this works for you is that this is usually daytime. You will have more free time for auditions because those auditions usually do happen during the day, and if you're a server at night, you're good to go. You have a lot of performance and people skills. I mean, my goodness, you're working with them all day long. And then, of course, it sharpens your multitasking and your memory. Next is a tour guide or a performer for something like the Fox Theater or historic sites. There are so many places here in Atlanta that are fantastic sites, and you can be a tour guide through there. Why this works is it's a live performance every single shift, so you're constantly learning and sharpening your craft. There's a lot of flexibility with that, especially in the evenings, and then tourists love charisma. And if you're a comedian, a great time to practice new material.
And the improv, right?
And that improv, we love to see it. Our third one is a rideshare or a delivery driver. Now, obviously, you have total control over your schedule.
Okay.
Super, super easy. And then you can drive during low acting demanding hours. So, you know, at nighttime or maybe on weekends. And then, of course, your passenger conversations can equal some character inspiration. And again, try out new material. Always a really great, listen, always look for ways to try new material and to become better at your craft. The fourth one is content creation and social media. It's a really easy, there's no barrier to entry there. Anyone can have an Instagram or a TikTok account. You can boost your brand and your marketing skills. You can also, be totally remote. So there's no commute, which is great. And then of course, once you start getting brand deals or once you start getting paid for what you're doing, then that's pretty competitive pay for the time invested. And last but not least, this one's my favorite. I've done this one before. Brand ambassador or promotional work.
Okay.
And why this one works is that you are basically paid to be energetic. You are the host. You are the face of a brand. And then a lot of times this is weekend only, or it may be for a short period of time. And then it feels like a live audition pretty much every single time. You're interacting with people who maybe you're going to have to work a little bit harder to get a reaction out of. Quick story, I did get to do this when I was first starting out for a brand, and I was at a convention, an expo, and there's people walking by left and right, and you're constantly on. You're on your feet, you're moving, you're grooving, you're working with people, you're hosting usually, and you're the face of a brand. So again, these are all really great ways. This is not an exhaustive list by any means, but this is a great way for you to sharpen your skills and to stay on top of your acting chops while making a little bit of money in the meantime.
Sounds good to me. So my favorite opportunity that you talked about, it's when you said that people could work as an Uber driver because you can also gain like the character inspo from your passenger. Maybe
you never know who's going to be in your backseat.
Yeah, it reminds me when I was in college, I had this creative writing professor who would have us go out into the wild and eavesdrop on people's conversations. And you had to write the dialogue because then it would teach you how to actually write the way people talk, not the way you think in your head.
That's really fascinating. I like that idea. I like that idea.
I mean, same kind of thing. It's pretty cool.
I love it. And you know what? You can always get creative. If there's even something that's remote work or part-time work, of course, I'm a big fan of that as well. We want to make sure that we can sustain ourselves through any dry seasons or dry spells, but then also making sure that we're taking care of ourselves and our finances.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Try to do that.
And don't get discouraged. So as I mentioned, we do normally take questions, and a good way for people to get some of those questions to you would be
Instagram. I love Instagram. I'm so much more available on Instagram. If you will, DM your questions. If it's not a dumb question, I promise you, more than likely someone has had it before. And if I can't help you either on a one-on-one basis, I know someone who can. And especially if it's a question that I get pretty often, this is one of those questions that I get pretty often, more than likely we'll bring it on here. You can find me at Casting Call with Tess Hammock, and that's on Instagram and Facebook. But again, definitely go more towards Instagram. I'm much more active on Instagram.
Beautiful. All right. Well, I'm Judea.
I'm Tess.
This was it for us here on Casting Call. But if you stick around with us, and after this break, we'll get you a lot more content, some more news headlines. Thanks for joining us.
welcome in. I'm Ariel Onstad. Thanks so much for streaming with us on your Sunday morning. One of the biggest stories we're tracking involves a local hotel having to pay a victim of child sex trafficking $40 million. A federal jury found that the staff knew what was going on and didn't do anything to stop it. So let's go out to our Lindsay Tuman, who's been following this story. Lindsay, good morning. What can you tell us?
Yeah, Ariel, certainly a big case and one that a lot of eyes were on, especially because, as the attorney of that survivor tells us, this hasn't gone all the way to a jury trial before, a case like this. So that's why this was so important and such an unprecedented move to see this jury, this federal jury, find that the hotel owners need to pay this $40 million to the survivor of child sex trafficking. So this all happened at the United Inn and Suites in Decatur. The hotel owners are Northbrook Industries Incorporated. They're the ones that are going to have to pay that hefty price tag. And the attorney says this all happened during the years of 2018 and 2019. So this was a 5-year-long legal process to get to this point. Now, according to the survivor's attorney, they say hotel staff knew minors were being sex trafficked on the property, and yet staff turned a blind eye in order to profit. They say that some of these acts were actually happening out in the parking lot in front of the hotel, not even necessarily behind closed doors. At trial, the attorneys representing the hotel claimed their staff had no idea that this was happening, but ultimately the jury ruled against them, setting a new precedent for cases like this across Georgia and across the country. The attorney for the survivor says he hopes that the insurance industry, the hospitality industry, we're all paying attention to this and hopes that it could help slow down sex trafficking in the future, seeing that there will be consequences for this kind of incident. He also said he thinks hearing who these minors are, who these victims are, that's really what helped in this case. And I'll let you hear from him his own explanation of that.
We had an expert testify on this. One of the things that we also hope that makes a statement is there still is some misconception of sex trafficking. I think some people still see the movies and think there's some foreign person brought over on a boat and they're chained up somewhere. And it's not that. And I think our expert was really good at being able to explain to this jury, 80% of these people are children right here in our community. These are our kids. These are kids. And you know what's the difference of them and like someone who's doing pretty good? They're vulnerable. They've already had a bad break. They've had some problem at home. They've got, a missing parent. There's some breakdown there. And teenagers are vulnerable to begin with. But you throw that on top of, some, societal vulnerability, and then they run away and they're on the street. And these traffickers, they're just good. People think that they're grabbing kids at the mall, putting them in trunks. They're not doing that. They're coming up and saying, what can I do to help you? Hey, you look beautiful. I love you. Can I help you do this? Hey, you want to stay with me at the room? I got you covered. And sometimes give them drugs. And then ultimately they're like, hey, now, you owe me. And they flip it. And then all of a sudden they introduce violence. And it's hard for them to get out.
And he said that expert who testified during this federal court proceeding had spoken to something like 500 survivors of child sex trafficking. So the description he provided is something that's widely seen across many communities, unfortunately. Also, unfortunately, a case like this that we're hearing about, not altogether uncommon. In fact, this same attorney says he has another case, very similar circumstances, going to trial in the next week or two. He's obviously hoping for a similar outcome to this case as well. Now, we did reach out to that hotel asking for comment. They told us the owners weren't available to make a comment. If they do get back to us, of course, we'll keep you updated on that. But certainly a lot of eyes on this, that ultimate verdict, and what it means going forward for some very similar cases. That's the latest out here downtown, Ariel. I'll send it back to you.
Lindsay, thank you. Yeah, this definitely sets a precedent, and it makes me think just how important it is to be vigilant and what we can all do to make a difference in our communities and make sure no other children are affected like this. So, Lindsay, thank you for your reporting. Okay, guys, bringing it back here, we have a few other things to get to for your Sunday morning. We're going to be showing you some events happening right here in the metro area. And one of the things we want to get to deals with education of animals and maybe the grosser parts of our ecosystems. Our Eli Jordan is out at Zoo Atlanta. And Eli, you're giving us the scoop on poop this morning.
Yeah, who better than myself about the scoop on poop? Yeah, but I'm out here at Zoo Atlanta for Grossology. It's going on until 3 p.m. And, you know, I've already learned something today about poop. And over here at the Grossology owl exhibit or demonstration, I used to think that the bird poop or whatever it was, where I saw the fur and bones, was bird poop, but it's actually bird puke. And that's what these guys are checking out over here. And I am with Mallory DeHaze and her family, and they come all the way from Pensacola, Florida, just to check out Grossology. I exaggerate a little bit, but they're visiting family, but they came out here to check it out. Mallory, what do you think about this Grossology?
I think it's a really interesting, interactive, educational experience for the kids. Give them something else to do while they're here at the zoo to learn more about the animals and how to keep their environments healthy and keep the animals healthy.
But I think it's the best thing ever because I want to learn all the gross things. Like I want to learn about anything that's gross. You know?
What do you think,
It is cool.
Ken?
So, I mean, were you expecting this when you showed up
No,
here?
I wasn't. We didn't know that this was on the schedule for today, but it was definitely a pleasant surprise.
And so what did you think? I mean, I think you and I kind of had a mutual reaction about,
Right.
I
So
thought it was poop.
I also thought that owl pellets were poop, but come to find out it's actually what they throw up that they can't digest, and it helps them.
Okay, Eli, we're going to hang out with you for just a second. We're watching. Let's see if we can bring you back. Your shot's frozen just a little bit, but I know it's busy at the zoo, so connection may be challenging. So let's see if we can bring Eli back. I do see his shot, so let's see if we can bring it up. There we go.
They found a tooth or something, a skull.
I found the bottom.
Ariel, you got me?
I got you. Keep going.
That one's the sharp
Cool.
part.
So yeah, we're just, it's really neat what they got here because they're like opening up this, the puke, I guess, and they're investigating to see what all type of animal bones are in here.
And
It's
they're
really neat.
comparing them to
And they're
this.
comparing, yeah, go ahead, Mallory.
Oh, I was just saying, the kids are able to compare them to this to match up bones that match the skeleton of what they're eating.
What do you think about all that?
Do you like it? Is it fun?
Yeah, we think that was so much fun to discover things that are disgusting.
It is fun to discover things that are disgusting. And that's what's going on here at Zoo Atlanta until 3 p.m. today. It's really cool. And you know, we're over here by the bird exhibit. Mallory, thank you so much.
Yeah,
I'm going to
no
grab
problem.
that mic from you a little bit later in a few minutes, but we're going to walk over here. I want to show you something else. Ariel, there's, you know, we got the vultures over here. And I'm not talking about a news crew either. I know it's an old joke, self-deprecating of our business. But here's the vultures here. And actually, these are beautiful birds. They're giant. They're huge. I mean, I would not want to mess with them. And they're, you know, although they're scavengers, they're still beautiful birds. I mean, they're huge. And also, I'm going to try not to lose my connection here because I think I have a bad cord. But they demonstrate how the scavengers don't get sick when they're having to like eat all this like rotten meat and all that. They have acid, like when Kimberly spoke to us earlier, they have acid in their stomach, and this is like a demonstration where you can pick up like sodium bicarbonate, which is also baking soda, and you can throw it in the acid of their stomach, which is vinegar, and you can see how it dissolves, and then the vultures don't get sick from eating the rotten meat that they clean up. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of like how it works. And so you can see people are starting to line up, getting exciting. And, you know, they actually got the demonstration about how...
I know all about vultures. So vultures they can be found in Africa and Florida sometimes.
Yeah, and they're like the vacuum cleaners of nature.
Yep, exactly.
Yep.
If they found dead things, see that giraffe?
Yep.
They found it.
So yeah, here we're out here just checking it all out, and people are showing up. And it's Grossology till 3 p.m. And obviously, just come on out here if you're into gross things. People, I mean, this is perfect for the kids. You saw it; they're you know, excited about learning about what all owls eat, putting their actual hands on it, touching the bones, pulling the fur apart. It's really cool. And I always thought that was, you know.
Eli, your connection's freezing on us once more. Let's see if we can get you back for this tail end here. If not, we'll let you go. Oh, there you are. Let's see.
I don't know if I can hang on to this connection anymore. I might have to change out this cord.
All
There
good. I do see you and I
um,
hear you. So
hey.
I'll let you go fix it. I want to say before I let you go, it is so cool to see so many future zoologists there. The enthusiasm from the kids, it's probably my favorite part. It's like they just want to tell you everything that they find cool, and I love to see it.
Yeah, it was really neat. Yeah, I mean, seeing the, learning something new and having this discovery going on, it's really neat. So yeah, Grossology till 3 p.m. today at Zoo Atlanta.
Cool. Eli, we'll come back to you in a little bit. Thank you so much. Okay, guys, it is time now to get a check of your weather forecast for your Sunday afternoon, let you know what to expect if you're headed out for the weekend, and a peek at the week ahead. So, Alex Forbes standing by. Alex, it's not like there's anything big happening this weekend or anything, right? I mean, some baseball. Yeah. So, Alex, wait, keep talking. Your mic sounds a little hollow to me.
Yeah. So I don't know of anything going on. Certainly nothing over at Truist Park. Don't know if maybe we can.
Hold on. Let's see if Alex, can you hear me? I can. Okay, your mic sounds like it might be off or a little hollow. You want to check it for me real quick?
Let's go right and do that real quick.
Okay, he's gonna come over, I think. So, you guys, MLB All-Star Weekend, a big thing happening. Lots of fun. This is a really cool thing. The MLB All-Star Game highlights the best of the American League and the National League in American baseball. And it's really cool because you see the best of all the players come and put together a baseball game mid-summer. It's a lot of fun, and it's happening in Atlanta this year. So really cool. It's a tradition that's been going on since 1933. And Chicago was the first city an MLB All-Star Game debuted in. We're taking a look. You can see it, some video from the MLB All-Star Village. And this is a really cool experience where fans can come meet some celebrities. They can meet other baseball players. And they can hang out and get to meet some of their icons and learn more about the sport of baseball. And it's all happening in Cobb County at the Cobb Galleria Center. So we'll talk about that a little bit more in just a bit. But looks like we do have Alex back here. Alex, you made a quick change to get over here quick.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Absolutely.
So what are we looking at weather-wise?
So, look, here's the deal. It's summertime in Georgia, in case we haven't noticed yet.
It is.
It's going to be hot, it's going to be humid, and we're going to have some showers and storms. Now, here's the difference, though, today and really tomorrow as well. We're not expecting to see quite as many showers and storms in the area. So a 30% chance of rain today, 20% for tomorrow. Notice that's back up to 40% there for Tuesday. That is the day of the actual All-Star Game itself. Now, you might be looking at that forecast, particularly if you're planning on going, and you look at 96 on Monday and on Tuesday. Obviously, it's going to feel hotter than that. I'm looking for heat index values 100 plus here in the metro. But here's the silver lining. Those games, first pitch is at 8 o'clock, right? So that's not going to be in the peak heating of the day. Better storm risk in here for Wednesday and Thursday at 60%, and those high temperatures not quite as warm as we work our way towards the latter half of the week. It's all related, right? That's going to be increased cloud cover, more showers and storms, and that naturally just keeps the temperature a bit cooler.
Okay, well, Alex, thanks for giving us a heads up. We'll check back in with you again in this hour, probably 11:45 or so-ish, and we'll get a deeper look at everything. So thanks so much.
Yep, sounds good.
Okay, guys, it is time to take a quick break. When we return, we're going to take you to Piedmont Park and get our sugar rush on. So Caitlin Pratt's at the Donut Festival.
I'm jealous.
Same. Best assignment in the house. We'll see you back here in a little bit. Well, welcome in. I'm Ariel Onstad. Thank you so much for streaming with us. If you're hanging out in YouTube, drop us a chat. Let us know how you're doing on your Sunday. I've got something that may make your Sunday even sweeter, and it involves donuts at Piedmont Park, and that is where we find our Caitlin Pratt. So, Caitlin, looks great out there. Can't wait. I think I hear your interviewing guest in the background getting ready to go to that soon, so let's see what's happening.
Hey, Ariel, yes, go nuts for donuts. Yes, so excited to be covering this for Fox Local today, streaming. Beautiful day here, clear day at Piedmont Park, and the wind is really refreshing. You know what else is? Donuts. So let me go ahead and switch the camera. I was just talking to my new friend Travis here. He's the owner of Drippin' Glazed Donuts, and this is a family-owned business.
Just came out too.
Just came into fruition a few years back, and you can see this is a made from scratch situation as we speak. Travis, tell me about you. Tell me about this operation
here. So here you go. This is Travis coming from Drippin' Glazed Donuts right out of Decatur, Georgia. Like I said, we started up around 2021, moved to the area in 2018. And so we just had I have a sweet tooth myself. And so we kind of just, me and my wife, we kind of specialize in donuts. And we just kind of came up with our own personal glazes. So what Drippin' Glaze is we pretty much, we bake our donuts. We don't fry them, we bake them. And so we specialize in glazes. So we came up with the ATL Peach. We named one after my daughter, TJ, which is a strawberry with sprinkles. So that's the TJ right there.
Okay.
This is Pancakes and Serve, which is maple glaze with bacon bits. This is the OG. We call this the OG. This
what is the OG?
The original glaze. That's the original glaze. So all the glazes we make ourselves. All the donuts we make ourselves. And like I said, we just got our deal with Walmart.com, so you can get them now at Walmart.com. Get the variety pack. We have the Toronto Blue Jay, which is a blueberry glaze.
Ooh.
We have the Oreo cookies and cream donut. We're coming out with a cotton candy glaze as well too. So we're stocking them up as fast as we get them in the booth. As fast as we got a cheesecake, which is the favorite.
Oh my!
We're getting empty as you see. As fast as we get them in, we're getting them out. So yes, you definitely have to try these donuts. And like I said, we don't have to tell you how good they are. Our customers tell us. So yeah, we've been around. We love Atlanta. That's why we're here.
Now, I mean, is this something that you guys came up with in the kitchen one day? Tell me, how did this brainstorming come about?
I'm a sweets guy. I like honey buns. I like sweets, and I'm gonna be honest. I looked into the research. The donut business is a $1 billion corporation, and as you see, as a minority, I love Drippin' Glaze. I love what's that, Krispy Kreme.
Yeah.
I love Dunkin' Donuts. I love them too.
Of course.
But also I like Duck Donuts. There's a lot of other smaller donut companies out there too. And so we just wanted to create some that, I like making people happy for one. And so to see people smile and to see the happiness. And when they eat the donut, you'll see some of our testimonies on our website too. So a lot of Facebook, you follow us on Facebook, TikTok, or Instagram, Drippin' Glazed Donuts. You'll see we do reviews. We ship out to California, Florida. We ship everywhere. So you'll see. I just like making people happy. That's what we do here.
And you're doing a good job this morning. And tell me about what kind of different festivals like this has meant for you, your business, your family.
This is vital because, like I said, we are a small business. We're up and coming. And these events here help get the word out, help spread, help with the community. We're a community giver, so we like giving back to the community. And events like this helps us bond, helps everybody get together and just come out, have a good time. The weather's nice today and stuff. And so, yeah, it's really, you can see the people out. It's really a good thing. And like I said, walk around with a donut in your hand, make you happy. And who doesn't like coming to Piedmont Park?
No one I want to hang out with.
Exactly. Exactly.
Thanks for talking with us.
I appreciate that.
Yes,
Have a good one. You too.
And so, Ariel, as you heard, oh my gosh, that's just one of at least 30 donut vendors in particular. There's 50 additional vendors as far as sweet treats, things of that nature. And also just, all sorts of food, Jamaican food. You see right there, hearing a little Bob Marley in the background. Vibes being served up here along with donuts. So I'm going to send it back to you in the studio and get a closer look at some other vendors here. But awesome to talk with Trevor and see a local business really thriving.
Caitlin, thanks so much. It's infectious, his energy. Great to see everybody there at Piedmont having a great time. You guys, I have to say, if I were headed out to Piedmont, I could not be trusted. I would walk away with a blood sugar high the size of Mount Everest. So if you're headed out, use caution, but enjoy yourself. Before I send you over to a break, I do want to let you know about our streaming special happening this Tuesday. This is really exciting, and you do not have to be a baseball fan to enjoy this. There's going to be a little something for everyone. Join us right here on Fox Local for the All-Star Game preview. I'm going to be hosting this along with Fox 5 Sports' Victor Prieto. We're going to show you the fans, the All-Star experience, the red carpet show in the field. And this is all happening hours before the big game, and you can stream it again right here on Fox Local from 3 to 4 in the afternoon. That is on July 15th, a Tuesday. We're going to see you back here, guys, on the other side of this break. Welcome in. I'm Ariel Onstad, and if you're waiting on your summer sale packages to arrive, maybe from Prime Day, Best Buy, maybe some new clothes, chances are Porch Pirates are waiting for your packages to arrive too. So I want to bring in Security.org's Corey Colleton. And Corey, you're an expert in Porch Pirates and how to thwart them. It's so good to have you on. How are you doing today?
Thank you so much for having me. I'm doing great.
So, Corey, big question here. How big of a problem is package theft? How much does it happen here in America?
Package theft is a huge problem. It's something that happens every day in all types of neighborhoods, all types of houses, rural areas, urban areas. It's something that happens wherever people have packages shipped to their house, which of course happens even more commonly during Prime Day. And according to our research of tens of thousands of people over the last couple of years, about 1 in 4 American adults has become a victim of porch piracy, which means they've had packages stolen from their homes.
Very frustrating. I mean, waiting for something really cool to arrive, and even worse if it's a gift for someone else, and then it's not, it's just a special feeling of injustice when you come home and you realize the package you were waiting on is not there, or realize it's just been stolen. So how do we stop this, Corey? What can we do? What steps can we take to keep our packages safe?
Great question. I always say that no crime is 100% preventable. Some things are just out of our control, but there are ways you can reduce your chances of having a package stolen. One of those things is by using your resources. If you're ordering from Amazon, they have a lot of programs that you can participate in depending on where you live. If you live in a location near one of their hub lockers, which are sometimes in Whole Foods markets or apartment buildings or gyms, you can have your package delivered to a hub locker, and in that case, you'll get a one-time code. No one else is going to get that code, so you can open up the locker and receive your package. Makes it really hard for someone to steal if only you have a secret code. If you don't live in a place where there's a hub locker, or you're ordering something that maybe is too large to fit in the locker, you can also update your delivery instructions. So scheduling your delivery as close as possible to a time where you know you're going to be at home, or someone else is going to be at home, or sending your package to someone else's house if you're not going to be at home. Maybe you're on vacation the week after you order your Prime Day packages, and you have those items sent to your friend or family member who will definitely be at home. Or maybe your neighbor works from home all day, you work somewhere else outside the home, you can have your packages maybe sent to a trusted neighbor who's going to be able to bring that inside right away. You can also get delivery alerts. So whether that's on your phone or you have a doorbell camera that notifies you when someone's ringing the doorbell or outside your home, those types of alerts will help you reduce the amount of time a package is sitting out on your doorstep. So if you know something has just been delivered, you can immediately go outside and bring it in. Obviously, the less time something's sitting out, the less chances that that will be stolen.
Amen. I think I'm taking a lot of mental notes for the packages that I know I have coming, kind of like, okay, is there someone I know that I can leave this with? Say, hey, maybe do me a solid. Can I have it delivered to your home instead? And it makes me think, what makes someone most at risk for a porch pirate? Are there certain things we may do that make us more likely to have our packages stolen?
So really, like I said, this can happen to anyone in any type of home, but some of the things that might make it more likely for this to happen is if you're leaving your packages outside for a long time, or maybe you have an item that is packaged in something that's very enticing. Maybe the package shows that it's a high value electronic, or if you live in a place where there's other package thefts happening frequently, some people go door to door. They sweep through an entire neighborhood. So if you hear about this happening in your neighborhood, it's a good indication that maybe you should be a bit more vigilant.
Good point. I think when I think of porch pirates, I also think of all the viral social media videos I see of people making the prank boxes to see people, get the porch pirates in the act and maybe teach them a lesson. I always wish I had that kind of savvy, because if my package were stolen, I would wish that maybe I could have a foul-smelling package open up into the thief's face. That would be rather nice.
Yeah, a little bit of justice.
Yes, exactly. Corey, I want to ask you, in the research that I saw from security.org, I saw Georgia actually ranked towards the, I guess I should say, bottom in terms of package thefts, meaning that maybe over a 3-month period of the research of people that they spoke to, it seemed as though Georgia's actually doing pretty well in terms of porch pirates for that span. Any insight as to why Georgia might not be as hard hit as, say, some of the other states like Iowa that ranked in the top 5? What are we doing right? Are we doing anything?
That's a great question too. So I think honestly, some of this comes down to luck. If you're living in a state where there is a higher percentage of people facing package theft, there's really no rhyme or reason to these states being in the top 5 or the bottom 5. And it could change very quickly. So even if you live in Georgia and the package theft rates seem low, I would highly encourage you to remain vigilant, because these figures can change year over year.
And I think about, at least in Atlanta specifically, we're here in an urban area. There's a lot of Amazon hub lockers. There's a lot of different places to have a package sent to. And chances are, if you're in a more urban environment, you can have a neighbor check in. Maybe you have a more well-lit street, all things that may hopefully deter thieves. So, Corey, is there any other parting advice or words of wisdom you can give us on porch pirates and avoiding them? I know that if you guys are listening to this, you know that special sense of like anger when your package gets stolen. So I'm going to say here, if you're streaming along with us, leave it in the chat. Let us know on YouTube what to expect, what you did that maybe worked. But Corey, I'd like to hear from you any final parting words of wisdom as it relates to what you would do to safeguard your packages.
Absolutely. I think one final word of wisdom is if you're purchasing something that you need really in a timely fashion, or it's a gift for someone else, or it's a highly valuable item, you can always shop the old-fashioned way in store. That's really going to prevent any chance of package theft, is if you simply go to the store yourself. That's still an option. I know delivery is super convenient, but if there's a situation where you really need that item on time and it just can't get foiled by a package theft, that like something that would really put a wrench in it, I would just recommend going into the store. And then if you are a victim of package theft, I would also recommend reporting it to law enforcement. It's not an emergency, don't call 911 necessarily, but you should report these crimes, even if they're small, to law enforcement so that they can monitor trends in your area more accurately.
Great point. I think a lot of us kind of sweep it off, sweep it under the rug, whatever, and we're like, hey, it happened to me. It's not really worth documenting or making a fuss about. I'll take it up with the retailer. But if a lot of package thefts are happening within an area and you don't report it, you could be part of a pattern you don't realize, and that lets law enforcement know, hey, maybe we need to devote some resources or attention to that area to prevent this in future. So, Corey, you're also reminding me, I had an old neighbor who actually got a lockbox at the side of his house that was rather large for USPS, UPS. He had a big sign for all packages to go in there, and it locked after you shut it. So that way packages would be secure. So maybe that could also be something people look into if they want to, kind of like a personal locker, if you will.
Yeah, that's a great option, especially if you don't have access to an Amazon hub locker, or if you're not shopping from Amazon. If you're shopping from another retailer, that's a great idea. And I've also seen those in big cities like Baltimore as well, just along the street, every single house with a lockbox.
Good to know. Good to know. Corey, thank you so much. Lots of insight and great advice. I appreciate your joining me.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, you guys, I hope all of your packages from summer sales make it to you safely. We're going to go ahead and take a break, and I'll see you on the other side of this. Well, welcome in. I'm Ariel Onstadt. It's so good to have you here with us on our Sunday morning. If you're looking for something to do this Sunday, look no further than a donut, maybe some kid fun activities at Piedmont Park. Our very own Caitlin Pratt is out there checking it out for us, giving us the scoop, or should I say a bite. Caitlin, have you sampled any donuts yet?
Donut you know. You got it? Donut you know I have.
Oi.
Good morning to you. And I want to...
Ladies family, we have our gluten-free treats today. Everything is all vegan.
What is this?
These are ice cream. You scream. We all scream for ice cream. This is our orange gluten-free vegan sorbet. This is made with sea moss powderized. We have fenugreek turmeric macaroon powder, and we have some Florida oranges in here. Amazing. This is a blueberry, and we picked these blueberries wild from Georgia.
Wow.
We dehydrated them, and this is actually blue spirulina. So that's powerful. That's how we got that color, guys, not that blue number 5. And so everything has fenugreek, macaroon powder, sea moss. We are a wellness company, and we focus on healthy vegan treats. Everything is gluten-free, no soy, no dairy, including the banana pudding with no sugar, no butter, no dairy, no eggs. We have a Snickers donut today. We have our turtle donut, and then we also have our lemon donut.
Yikes.
And our ginger beverages. Would you like to do a live tasting really quick? I can put it in your mouth since your hands are...
Okay. I want to know more about you. Where are you located in Georgia?
Located inside of the new Black Wall Street Market, which is in Stonecrest, Georgia.
Oh, wow.
Full-scale wellness. My name is Ginger of Gingerlicious because I'm spicy, healthy spice. Now,
Ginger, I love you. I love you so much. How did you come up with this concept?
Absolutely. My husband and I, we actually are full-scale wellness. We do have 5 children, 37 to 14. So we are massage therapists, reflexology. We teach Kemetic Egyptian yoga. And your wellness should be 3 things: nutrition, it should be the physical, but then mental, spiritual. So we work on meditation, breathing, and how do you take your lives back and activate your internal pharmacy with a good, fun way. Usually vegan items are not tasty, so we managed to make them healthy and fun.
Oh, thank you so much for talking with us.
Have a great day.
You too. Wow. So you just heard that. All sorts of vendors here, not just donuts. Right here, we have some wings. Stuffed wings, that's interesting. We also have some lemonade, frozen lemonade. So many options, not just for those who like sweet treats. This is happening until 5 o'clock this afternoon here at Piedmont Park. And to give you an idea of where they are set up, we're right next to the water here. Beautiful breeze coming by. There's plenty of shade too to get a little shelter from the sun. It is hot, so make sure you bring your water, bring your sunscreen, and of course, bring your appetite. I'm going to send it back to you, Ariel.
Caitlin, I'm cracking up. She was so enthusiastic. And who knew? I thought, the donut festival was all sugar, but you're showing me we got some protein in there. She had some vegan treats, sea moss and spirulina, speaking my language, and she was ready to feed it to you. That's commitment right there.
I promised my mom I'd never eat on live TV, so here we are.
I'm dying. Okay, well, you made good on it, that promise still. Caitlin, I hope you do get a bite and enjoy yourself. We'll see you back here around noon. Okay, you guys, let us transition. We are taking a look at things that you can do in Atlanta today, and another opportunity involves an event at the Atlanta Zoo going on till mid-afternoon, and our Eli Jordan is checking it out. Eli, you're uniquely qualified for this topic. I know you just love...
First of all, I want a donut. I want some donuts.
I know, Caitlin did get a good...
over here
She did get a good assignment.
I'm watching the rhino eat, and I'm hearing about Caitlin talk about good donuts, and then vultures over here munching on a rabbit. It's just, I want some donuts. Donuts would be good. But no, out here at the Zoo Atlanta, I'm doing Grossology. They are doing Grossology today. It's their 4th annual Grossology. And what is Grossology? It's about all the gross things you might see at the zoo but never have talked about, and just kind of like you overlook it, like poop and scat and guano and dung and crap. But it's actually very neat. I always thought that little piles of fur and bones I would see underneath the tree was like maybe owl poop. Turns out it's owl puke, and they have a demonstration over there with some of that, and they let the kids open it up and discover the bones and figure out what kind of little critters the owls have been munching on. It's really, really, really neat. And I spoke to Kimberly Rogers, earlier. She is an education person here at the zoo who came up with this idea of Grossology, and she explains a good bit about what's going on. Let's listen to what she had to say. What is Grossology?
Grossology. So that is it's kind of a made up word, but it's the study of things that are gross.
And so, I mean, like what?
Think of if you ever see anything and you go, ooh, that's something that we can study. But specifically, here in the animal world, poop. So everyone thinks poop is gross, but everybody poops, animals and all alike. So that's something that we want to study, we want to talk about. So Grossology Day is the perfect day to talk about that.
And so you can learn a lot about studying an animal's poop, can't you?
Oh, absolutely. So the feces or poop or scat, whatever you want to call it, those are whatever the animals leave behind. There's always something in that that gives us information. The most basic is going to be it tells us what that animal's eating. So here at the zoo, we know what we're feeding them, but we're able to kind of analyze and look at that. But in the wild, this is a way to keep track of what animals in the wild are eating. So to get an idea of their diet, and if it differs among species between different areas, or it just kind of gives us an idea of what's available to the animals.
And it's also a little bit more about more than just poop. I mean, you got the vulture feeding, I guess.
Absolutely.
Right?
So it's not just poop, but I will say that was kind of what inspired the day for me, but we expanded it to include other things. So vultures. So again, people look at vultures, they're not our big charismatic megafauna. People don't look at them and immediately go, oh. In fact, some people, partly because of what they look and partly because of what they eat, they think they're icky or they're scared of them. So what we do with the vultures is we talk about their really awesome acidic stomach that allows them to eat rotting carcasses that other animals might leave behind. They're actually nature's cleanup crew. So because they fill that really important role in the ecosystem, this was a fun way for us to kind of bring that to the attention of our guests.
Now, getting back to the poop, we're here in front of the elephant exhibit.
Yes.
I mean, do we get to learn what happens? I mean, I'm sure the elephants have a lot of poop. Do we get to learn what happens? What do you guys do with it?
For elephant poop specifically, and a lot of our, what do they call it? A lot of our herbivore feces, we can actually compost that. And then long-term elephant poo in the past and in other places, we can take that compost elephant poo and we can actually create packy poo. So that's like fertilizer. Some places actually turn it into paper. So again, it's really cool. It's really awesome. It's something that they do quite a lot of. They eat a lot, so they poop a lot. So that's a lot of fuel to potentially create some reusable resources.
Wrap it up. Final question. How much poop does the zoo produce a day, would you say? Any idea?
Oh my goodness, that's a great question. So the elephant is going to be I think the biggest contributor to that. They eat about 200 to 300 pounds of food a day, and a lot of that's going to come out. So that's just one animal creating between like 100 and 200 pounds of poop a day, and that's just one animal, and I have absolutely no clue. A lot. Tons for sure.
You still there with us?
Tons. Oh yeah, I'm there. I was just observing this rhino over here. But yeah, I mean, tons of poop. It has to come out here every day. But it's really interesting. A lot of kids seem to really like it. So this is going on until 3 p.m. today. Real quick, this is like kind of demo showing that I was talking about the owl earlier. And so this is what they have. Like this is like the owl puke and not poop. And you can see all the little bones and stuff, and they break it open, and it's really neat. And we got some people wanting to come check it out. I don't want to get in their way, but yeah, it's very, very, very interesting thing. Their 4th annual Grossology, and speaking of which, we got the vultures over here, and they're eating their wabbit. Kill the wabbit. Anyways, so that's going on until 3 o'clock today. Grossology at the Zoo Atlanta. Come out, check out all, get some information about all the gross things that animals do that you normally don't get when you come to the zoo. They'll explain it all for you. It's pretty cool. Ariel?
Eli, I like it. I feel kids really appreciate the grosser aspects of our ecosystem, as they should, right? Kids see the beauty of kind of the world and get to ask the questions maybe we're too squeamish or tight-lipped to. So it's neat to see how excited they are, see these demonstrations. We're going to let you learn a few more things to bring to us at noon, Eli, and we'll get back to you for some more Grossology at the Zoo Atlanta later this afternoon. Okay, guys. So again, Zoo Atlanta is having Grossology until 3 this afternoon. So if you want to bring the kids, there's still time yet. Or maybe you just want to bring yourself and learn a little bit more about important factors of our ecosystem. For now, let's move along and get a check of your weather forecast with Alex Forbes, who is standing by. Alex, how's it going?
I like this assignment a lot better than the last one, that's for sure. I will gladly tell you about the warm weather out there. That's the other thing. We can't smell what Eli's seeing, and I'm sure the heat's not really helping that there at Zoo Atlanta. Live look over Truist Park right now, the place to be over the next couple of days and around the Cumberland area. We have warmed up before the noon hour now to 87 degrees, a breeze out of the north-northwest at 13, so at least we've got that to help us out. Yeah, Covington already at 90, Eatonton at 90, 86 in Athens, 86 over in Gainesville, hanging on to 76 barely in Rome. Feels like 77 right now, but hello, Putnam County feels like 102 now in Eatonton, 99 in Covington, 95 in Thomaston, and 90 over in Noonan. Now, a heat advisory is in effect southeast of the city today for heat index values up to 105. That includes from Oglethorpe County down through Jasper, Putnam, Pike, Monroe, and Upson counties included in this, and then extends down into the Macon area. Kicked in at 11 a.m., and it's going to go until 8 o'clock tonight. I expect we'll probably see another one for tomorrow as well. Fox 5 Live Viper at this moment, still quiet. Not seeing anything develop over the last little bit, but I do expect that to change relatively quickly. 97 in Eatonton today, 95 over in Covington, 93 in Canton, 93 in Gainesville, 96 in Athens, and 93 over in Griffin for the afternoon. Here's how it goes hour by hour. A 20 to 30% chance of rain. The mid-90s are going to come our way right around dinner time, but it's going to feel, as we've already seen, warmer than that now through the remainder of the day, feeling like the mid to upper 90s across north and central Georgia. So here's how it breaks down now in your Fox 5 Storm Team 7-day forecast. We're going to talk more about the All-Star game here in just a second, but first I want to point out that Monday and Tuesday, yeah, they're going to feel warmer out there, but then by the time we get towards Wednesday and Thursday, we'll be looking at about a 60% chance of rain. That's going to be down to 40% by the time we get towards Friday and towards Saturday there. Now, let's take a closer look at the All-Star game, right? This is going to be Monday, tomorrow, and Tuesday. First pitch at 8 o'clock both days, so it's not during the peak heating of the day, but it does look like we're going to have a slightly better opportunity to catch a shower or storm throughout the evening on Tuesday rather than Monday. Ariel?
Alex, I'm going to be bringing my portable fan, maybe an ice pack.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
brutal, but thank you. Okay, guys, it is time to go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we're going to have a interview for you with a Georgia mother who's trying to educate people about her journey with an adult son who has autism. For so many parents, it can feel like the journey, you have so many different things you don't know. You don't even know where to get started. And she wants to make sure parents have the information she didn't have. So we're going to get to that coming up on the other side of this break. Welcome in. I'm Ariel Onstad. Thank you so much for streaming with us. We want to take the time to introduce you to a Georgia mom and caregiver who wants to raise awareness about autism in adults. Sharon Williams has actually been doing this for quite some time, and she's now launching a podcast. So Sharon, it is great to see you, great to meet you officially. How are you today?
Fine. How are you?
Doing
Thank you
great.
for having me.
Yeah, it's great to have you with us. So tell me a little bit about who you are and your journey to this.
My name is Sharon Williams. As you stated, I am a mother of a 24-year-old son with autism. His name is Kyle. And Kyle was diagnosed at the age of 2. And just the entire experience of going through Kyle's diagnosis, through his childhood, once he became an adult, it opened the doors for huge pitfalls that I was not expecting. So the podcast, basically, I'm trying to get the word out to kind of help other families, caregivers, self-advocates on how to kind of navigate life after the age of 18.
It's really interesting that you bring that up, Sharon, because I think so often autism research and conversations often focus on children and how to navigate the space with children. But when your child reaches adulthood, autism doesn't go away, and it's a whole new ball game that you are having to navigate.
Absolutely. And it's an untouched community. And I will say it's not just for, although my son has autism, but it's for the entire special needs community because we all face the same issues once they age out of school. And some of those things are housing, employment, what are they going to do during the day? One example, I had one parent contact me and stated, what is Kyle doing now? And I said, he's in a day program. And she stated to me that she had to quit her job simply because once he aged out of school, she had nowhere for him to go. So that's a big issue. And I think it's a very untouched community because I think a lot of times, as you stated, people focus on when they're children. No one seems to think about once they become adults, which opens a door of different decision making, different issues. And the podcast pretty much will be talking about that. It's also to let families know that they're not alone. There's a community of us dealing with this, also giving resources that we know of that they can kind of use those resources to kind of help them navigate for the next chapter.
Yeah, Sharon, I mean, you talk about this community you're trying to build. Did you feel lonely in this journey?
Absolutely. Because honestly, for me, it was a shock. Once he became an adult, aged out of school, I said, hey, it's going to be easier now. Everything's going to kind of coast. And unbeknownst to me, I hit some pitfalls that I did not see coming. One of those is what is Kyle going to do all day now? He's not at the intellectual level where he can have a job. So what do I do with Kyle during the day while I work? And that was a entire different um, area that I wasn't expecting, had never even thought about. So with this podcast, I feel like my job is to make sure that other families don't hit that pitfall unexpectedly once their individuals age out of school.
You're trying to help them learn from what you've gone through yourself, which is really uplifting when you can kind of be vulnerable and share some of the struggles you've had to help benefit someone else. This podcast, when you're launching it, you're going to talk through and share some insights to help people. You've talked about employment, you've talked about housing. What kind of resources and what specifically are you trying to do with the podcast to benefit others? Can you give us like an overview or a teaser of some of the information you hope to share?
Absolutely. One of the main resources I think every family that's dealing with this need to know, and that is to make sure that their individual is on the Georgia Now or Comp waiver. That waiver helps funds the day programs, also employment. Also, it helps funds also living expenses, just so many sorts of things that this waiver, even medical expenses, if they need extra things, like some of the special needs individuals need things like wheelchairs and things like that. The waiver helps with so many different things. But I will tell you, the waiver, you have to be placed on the list way before they age out of school. The reason being, the last time I checked, which was recently, there is a 10-year waiting list in the state of Georgia.
And that's just, you know, if you didn't know that information, how would you know? And then it's too late. So, I mean,
Absolutely.
just incredible. One of the things I know that you want to share in your podcast as well that you're launching is stories from caregivers and other families and people sharing their struggle. So it sounds like you're really trying to foster a sense of community where it's each one teach one with different experiences and things that they know, because at the end of the day, if you aren't sharing your knowledge, how are you hoping to help yourself and other people?
Absolutely. And that's what I've always felt. We need to share the information that we know. You never know who it helps. Just like the individual I was telling you about, the parent that had to quit her job after her son aged out of school. If she had known about the waiver, then there's a big possibility that her son would have somewhere to go during the day and she would not have to, you know, quit her job, which absolutely affected their finances, I'm sure.
Yeah, Sharon, I'm curious. You talked about misconceptions a little bit in the beginning, just this idea that when your child gets older, it's supposed to become easier, and you realize that that's not necessarily the case. Are there other big misconceptions about autism in adults that you wish people knew?
Absolutely. One thing is the largest misconception is after they age out of school that they have somewhere to go. That's the huge thing. Basically, if you don't have family, if you don't have a good support system, what do we do with these individuals? Where do they go? Even for residential placement, which is, you know, providing them somewhere to live, you still need the finances, the waiver. If you don't have the waiver, you have to be cash pay. Um, to be honest, most people do not have that type of money. So the largest thing for me is, what do we do with them once they age out of school? Whether it being, you know, just having somewhere to go during the day, a great day program, or employment, making sure that there are people that are willing to employ the individuals that are able to be employed. So that's where my biggest thing is the um, having somewhere to go. What do we do with this community?
Sharon, what is the name of this podcast? Where can people listen? When are you hoping to launch?
The name of the podcast is Autism and Adulthood. Again, it's autism and adulthood, but it's different, dealing with all special needs, not just autism, because we all deal with the same issues. However, it's on Spotify. It'll be live on August 1st. I would hope that this programming really gets the word out, because I really want to be there. And there's a community of us really want to be there for each other and to encourage each other and not wanting people to feel alone.
I think loneliness really is the biggest epidemic and the hardest thing to navigate, just when you're going through something like this, feeling like you're the only one, no one else is with you in this journey. So having this story, sharing it with others, and sharing resources, I can only imagine will help uplift. Sharon, as a final question here, what kind of change would you like to see happen? Are there uh, anything that families with special needs adult children need from policymakers or communities or legislators? What can others do to help you?
Absolutely. And I'm glad you asked this question. I would love for, on the state level, for there to be something done about this waiver and the amount of time, the waiting list. As I stated, the waiting list is 10 years long. If you don't know about it when your child is very young, or don't get them on the list when they age out of school, they're still not able to get the services needed. I would like policymakers to open up more opportunities for Medicaid. Medicaid is the funding root of this entire program. And I just really would love for state policymakers to really consider this community and really understand how much of a need it is for this community to get the help that they need.
It makes sense, Sharon. I think you can't do this alone, and having your community and policymakers understand what you're going through and make sure the policy reflects your real life would be helpful. So thank you so much for coming on, sharing your experiences with us, and sharing resources to help other families, because it is absolutely something no one can navigate alone. So Sharon, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, you guys, it is time to go ahead and take a break. When we return, we'll have more content for you coming up after this. Thank you so much for streaming with us. Welcome in. I'm Ariel Onstad, and so good to see you streaming with us on our Sunday morning. One of the things we're doing today is showing you events happening here in our city. One deals with education on a topic you may or may not be familiar with, and it is poop. You heard me right. Eli Jordan is out getting the scoop on the scat, the poop. Eli, you had a lot of synonyms earlier for the gross business that you're enjoying today.
Yeah, let's see. We have poop and crap and guano and feces and what? I took some notes, but you get the picture. Yeah, I mean it's Grossology, fourth annual Grossology here at Zoo Atlanta, and I'm hanging out here by the rhinos because I think they can like drop a big load of the topic, but yeah, we're also out here by some of the bird exhibits like the vultures. The vultures are really neat. I learned something about that. Did you know, vultures, they're scavengers. They eat a bunch of rotten roadkill, things like that. And you're like, how do they do it? Well, I learned that they have acid stomach, like super acid stomachs that can like Alien. Remember in the movie Alien? They get the, acid blood. Well, these guys have the same kind of thing in their stomach. Hey, what's up, guys? And so, it kills any kind of bacteria or grossness that the roadkill that they munch on has, and so they don't have to worry about it. They're like the vacuum cleaners of Earth, and they just ate a rabbit over here, and I think that's pretty cool. But yeah, Grossology is going on today until 3 p.m., and the kids like it. I've seen a lot of kids' eyes light up when they actually get to have a demonstrator open up an owl pellet of poop, which is really neat because when they open up an owl pellet of poop, you see the bones and fur of what all the owl ate, and you can learn a whole lot about, the owl and what they do, what they eat by checking that out. So it's really cool. So come on down here to the zoo. You got till 3 p.m. for Grossology. You can learn all sorts of cool things of what the grossness means for the animals, and it's pretty groovy. Ariel, back to you.
Yeah, Eli, I think one thing I'm enjoying is seeing all of the kids learning about this and just how excited they are. It doesn't matter the age. Every little child I've seen comes up and they're just fascinated because this topic is really important to our ecosystem. It's a circle of life, and every little piece of the puzzle just fits together perfectly to make sure that our environment stays healthy and that things continue on and keeps us healthy. So, Eli, thanks for all the education today, and hopefully we won't smell you later. So, we'll just see you later. All right. Okay, guys, let us move on to something a little closer to here in the Midtown area, I guess I should say, and that involves a sweet treat at Piedmont Park. Caitlin Pratt is out at the Donut Festival. Caitlin, everyone I think is in agreement here. You have the best assignment in the house, so I hope you're getting to sample some wares.
Well, I should get a reward for being the first in the building, right? So here I am at Piedmont Park, enjoying myself on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. And by the way, this is ongoing until 5 p.m. So you guys have plenty of time to get out here, get your favorite sweet treat. We're not just talking about donuts either. If you've been streaming with us, you've seen there's so many different options. And I'm going to show you just one of them here. This young lady, Rosie, got my attention. She has a megaphone. Woo-woo! Tell me about your business and when it started and what it's meant to you and your family.
We are Southern Plus Sweets and Treats. We're a gourmet bakery here in Atlanta, and we specialize in kid-friendly and healthy edibles for adults with different illnesses, treats. We also ship. We make an amazing drink called Sluttinade. The name is funny. The first brownie I made was called a Slutty Brownie. So since I'm from the South, we just had fun with it. We wanted to be something that you will remember, and most people do. So when most people come up to us, they say, make me something good, have your way. So we just mix some good flavors with them, whether they get virgin or, just want to have fun, just something, memorable. All of our drinks smoke like this right here. So we get a memorable experience. We are glad to be here in Atlanta, and we hope to be expanding. So check us out on our social media. And anytime you see the pink tent pull up, we love to service.
Well, in closing thoughts, just what does it mean the last 5 years? You've expanded. How many shops do you have now?
I have 3 in Atlanta, 1 in Florida, and we're still expanding. And what it means to me is hard work, and it pays off. We've made a very good reputation for ourselves, and we hope to be global soon.
Thank you so much, and I'll take whatever is the crowd favorite to go. All right, Ariel, capping off my work day here with a little sweet treat, some cold liquid headed my way. I'm going to send it back to you in the studio.
I'm jealous, Caitlin. I hope you enjoy yourself and have a great rest of your Sunday. You guys, if you want to get out, like Caitlin said, it's going on at Piedmont Park until 5 this afternoon. It is a great time now to check your weather forecast, because if you are headed out, maybe to Piedmont Park, maybe around our city, maybe to Truist Park, where there's a lot of festivities going on for MLB All-Star Weekend, it could be a great way to see what's up. So let's see if we can get Alex Forbes. Alex, yes.
It's hot.
It is hot.
And that's hot. Yeah, that's pretty much it. No, 88 is where we stand in Atlanta right now, 90 in Covington, 91 in Eatonton. But here's the deal. The humidity out there is making it feel even hotter than that. Right now at 12:10 in the afternoon, it already feels like 102 in Eatonton. One small shower there in Chattooga County. There's more where that came from up into parts of Tennessee. I'm going to be watching for some development in parts of Alabama today to see if that finds its way into western Georgia. I think that's going to be the better shot to see some showers today. You can basically see the area of high pressure, right? It's the area with no rain right now. That's not to say we're not going to see anything today, right? Watch this as we play this forward into the afternoon. Still some shower activity bubbling up, but I think the better chance of rain today is going to be on the west side of 75 instead of yesterday's east side of 75 as we work our way into the afternoon and evening hours. There's tomorrow. All looks okay. There's the noon hour. Yep, scattered showers and storms. You guessed it. Only about a 20% chance of rain for tomorrow. And then on into Tuesday here, starting the day off dry, but then for Tuesday afternoon, look at that, bubbling up showers and storms once again. Of course, we've got the All-Star game on Tuesday. There's Cumberland right there. 75 and 285. I wouldn't pay attention exactly to where these showers are, but know that there will be some showers around as we work our way into Tuesday evening. Into the evening today, 20 to 30% chance of showers and storms. There it is, sticking out like a sore thumb. 95 later on this afternoon here in the city. I think we could go maybe a couple degrees warmer in places like Athens, maybe down towards Covington. 93, 92 in Canton, 90 over in Rome, 88 up there in Blairsville. Through the day today, we will also have this heat advisory in effect. It has already taken effect, and it's going to last until 8 o'clock tonight for heat index values up to about 105 before all is said and done. Here's your Fox 5 Storm Team 7-day forecast. So a 20% chance of rain tomorrow. That's up to 40% there for the All-Star game there on Tuesday. And then a 60% chance of showers and storms Wednesday and Thursday. That's going to come with falling high temperatures. Ariel?
Alex, I need the relief. I know it may not be happening anytime soon, but I need it. So
well,
thanks.
Good luck with that. Let me know how that goes.
Okay, guys, let's bring it back over here and get to some news of the day for you all. So one of the stories we're tracking here locally involves a thief who made out with some lawn equipment. So let's get into this because it's pretty wild. A homeowner actually was looking for his stolen equipment and found a Tucker home address on Tuesday. Police say that the victim traced their stolen lawn equipment to this home on Chestnut Hill Circle. They called police, and once officers arrived, they found a basement packed with stolen lawn tools. You can see some weed eaters right there. In total, they found 32 chainsaws, 29 concrete saws, 26 backpack blowers, 17 weed trimmers, and 18 hedge trimmers. So a lot of things. Police say it took 3 trucks to haul all the stolen goods away. The thief was arrested, but police haven't yet released their identity. Absolutely crazy. And also in other news, a former Georgia deputy is also facing charges. This is a Greene County deputy, Robert Allen Klein. He's 51 years old, and the GBI arrested him on Wednesday. Now, the GBI agents say that he tased a man who was already in handcuffs. Agents say he responded to a crash on July 6th and arrested a man for driving under the influence. Now, during this process, the GBI says Klein tased the man while he was already restrained in those handcuffs. He's since been kicked off the Greene County Sheriff's Department and is facing charges of aggravated assault and violation of oath of office. And we're going to get to this in just a minute. Some new body cam footage from Atlanta police shows them arresting, the body cam video shows them arresting a couple of people after some illegal street racing. Let's take a look.
Move again. Don't move. I wasn't doing anything. You just have been trying to get out. We were trying to hit him. I ain't trying to hit that. Okay. I don't got nothing on me, officer.
Well, this body cam video happened over the 4th of July weekend, and APD says they responded to reports of illegal street racing at the intersection of Memorial Drive and Candler Road. All 3 individuals in the car were taken into custody and are now facing multiple charges, so we'll keep you updated on that. I do want to let you know about the MLB All-Star Weekend game. This is super fun. So the MLB All-Star game, of course, on Tuesday, but MLB All-Star Village is happening at the Cobb Center Galleria. And this is really cool because it brings together a lot of unique fans, experiences, and bits of memorabilia from baseball, past, present. And you're able to go and speak with different icons of baseball lore. There have been some old players who have stopped by, of course, some celebrity sightings as well. People are able to go in and try their hand at different practices like batting, so it's very interactive. Again, this is at the Cobb Galleria Center, and you can check it out if you want to go enjoy it with your family. This is a 500,000 square foot event that includes live music, meet and greets with MLB legends, and family-friendly games and activities. It does cost $35 to get in, and you can enjoy it until Tuesday. And you guys, I do want to let you know, if you are headed to the Beyoncé concert, some tips and tricks to make your experience go smoothly. Beyoncé is returning to Mercedes-Benz tonight for night 4 of her Cowboy Carter tour. And parking lots are going to open at 2 p.m. Gates open at 5:30. Music's expected to start at 8. It started at 8:15 Thursday, 8:45 Friday. My theory is here she starts around sunset, and when it starts to look dark, it looked a little darker on Friday Friday than it did Saturday because of the overcast skies. So it goes without saying, though, best to get there early. Cowboy Carter merchandise is going to be sold outside of the stadium across from gates 1 and 2 and across, or rather on every level of the stadium inside. So you can go buy Cowboy Carter merch outside the stadium without a ticket. You don't need a ticket to get that. Merch stands open at 2 p.m. on show days. And don't forget about the stadium's clear bag policy. You need to make sure that your bag is in the acceptable size and is see-through. Mercedes-Benz says the roof is going to be closed for all shows, and at Beyoncé's request, the halo board will not be used. All eyes are going to be on her on the stage. For transit, it's best to take MARTA. They're running extra trains to make sure that the experience goes smoothly. It will be crowded, but it is the quickest and cheapest way to get there. If you're driving, use the Waze app for navigation directly to your parking lot. And if you're using rideshare services for drop-offs, Zone 1 is located on Northside Drive in front of the Georgia World Congress Center building at Building C. And that's going to be the best way if you have a rideshare service taking you there. Also, guys, I want to let you know about an update on your tax rebate. If you are still waiting for this and you're like, hey, where is my rebate? It is still going out. Georgia, the state, says that they have been sending out hundreds of millions of dollars in tax refunds. And if you're waiting for your rebate, you can check its status on the state's Department of Revenue website using your social security number and adjusted gross income. So what you're going to do is take a look at the website, because with that information from your previous tax return, the adjusted gross income, you're going to be able to do that and your social security number and see the status of when that reimbursement is going to come back out to you. This started back in June, and if you set your rebate to come via direct deposit, you need to look for a transaction labeled Gas T Tax RFD, and that stands for Georgia State Tax Refund. The amount you receive depends on whether you filed as single, married, or head of household, a range of $250 to $500. And I do want to let you guys know President Trump has issued new tariffs. He's announced a 30% tariff on goods imported from Mexico and the European Union. The new tariff rates are going to go into effect on August 1st. The president says the rates will go even higher if a country retaliates with tariffs of their own. Now, President Trump has also announced an elevated 35% tariff on imported goods from Canada. So we'll continue to keep you updated on this situation and what it could mean for your wallet. But in the meantime, I do want to let you know about something that could affect you if you are looking to buy a home. So good news here for renters who want to buy a home. For the first time, your rent payments can be taken into consideration when you apply for a mortgage. This is according to a new order from the Federal Housing Finance Agency. The directive says credit history will no longer be limited to credit cards and loans. Until now, homeowners' credit was based only on FICO scores, which did not take rent payments into account when determining a person's creditworthiness. And now they're saying, hey, if you pay your rent every month on time, this should be considered. So good news there. If you're looking to buy a home, that could make a difference for you. I do also want to let you guys know about a new study from the JAMA, Journal of American Medical Association. This is a peer-reviewed journal and the gold standard in American medicine. And this new study is warning children's health is declining here in the United States. Researchers looked at 172 health indicators and found that U.S. children and teens were nearly twice as likely to die compared to peers in 18 other high-income countries. They looked at this from 2007 to 2022. Chronic conditions among 3-year-olds to 17-year-olds rose almost 6% in pediatric health systems and more than 5% in the general population. Now, anxiety, depression, and eating disorders more than tripled their rates. And again, this is for children ages 3 to 17 years old. So concerning there. Another bit of news I just want to let you know about as well. Today also marks the 1-year anniversary that President Trump was grazed by a bullet. He was at his rally in Butler, Pennsylvania, when Secret Service agents tackled a would-be assassin to the ground. So we'll continue to keep you updated on that anniversary as well. 1 year ago today, July 13th. Guys, I do also want to let you know about a streaming special that we have. This is something that you can tune in with us for on Tuesday. We're going to be streaming our All-Star Game preview. I'm going to be hosting this along with Fox 5 Sports' Victor Prieto. We're going to be showing you the fans, the All-Star experience, the red carpet show, and the field hours before the big game. You can stream it right here on Fox Local from 3 until 4 in the afternoon. And again, that is Tuesday, July 15th. Can't wait to see you there. You do not have to be an MLB or baseball fan to enjoy this. We're going to make it fun. But guys, it is time to take a break. We're going to have more content for you coming up after this.
We've got some royalty. WWE Queen of the Ring, Jade Cargill, also a two-time women's tag team champion.
Yes, I am.
Jade, thank you so much for joining us today.
No, thank you for having me.
Of course, and I mean, you live in the Atlanta area.
I
Obviously,
do.
Evolution coming back to Atlanta, and really just coming back for the first time since 2018. All women card. How excited are you for that?
I'm excited. We have the likes of Trish Stratus that's going to be there. We also have Nikki Bella. I mean, we have Tiffany Stratton going up against Trish Stratus for the WWE Championship. I think that's big. I'm going up against Naomi. I mean, I'm tired of dealing with that. So finally, I can get that net off my back.
Yeah.
It's going to be a great show, jam-packed.
Yeah, a historic night,
Yes,
right? Obviously,
very.
a show like this. What has kind of the energy been like in the women's locker room with this coming up? There's so much talent there, obviously. Just to be able to showcase it in one show all night long.
Exciting. We're excited to show what we have and what we got, right? Because we don't get shows like this.
Right.
So we're preview what we're doing and just go out there and show what we're building up to do.
No doubt. You mentioned Naomi.
Yeah.
There's a lot of history there.
Lots.
Right? Between
Yeah.
her attacking you.
Yeah.
Right? You came back and got her. All right. Then recently she got you. I mean, it's been a back and forth affair.
Yes.
How personal has this gotten, and what are you hoping to do with it? I mean, it's no holds barred.
Yeah.
This could be one of the most brutal matches of your career. What are you hoping to accomplish?
I'm hoping to be done with this. I'm tired. Every week is something. She comes after me, she runs. If I do adjust it, she comes after me, she runs. I'm tired of it. We're going to be dealing with all kinds of things, from babies to people to tables to chairs to popcorn to everything you name. I'm just tired. I'm glad to get this over with.
Yep.
It's
Now,
time.
you have roots here, as I mentioned. You live here. Your husband, Brandon
Yeah.
Phillips, who
Yes.
everybody knows, obviously
Stone
MLB
Mountain
All-Star,
native. Yep.
Stone Mountain native, Redan High School, right? So obviously, I'm assuming a lot of family going to be in the crowd.
Very.
Will there be any help? Like if you get into the the thick of it, you're in there. You think maybe a cousin can throw in an elbow or
I'm
something?
hoping so. I mean, hopefully you'll be there. I'm trying to rally up people that'll be in the crowd that's going to help me because, listen, she has all, in her briefcase, she has all kind of stuff. She's missed money in the bank, so she has all kind of things to bob wire to, oh my, she's trying to hurt me. Like, she literally threw me on a car. If you followed my story, you know she threw me on the car. I am done. I am tired. We are going all out, and hopefully you're on my side, so you help me with that.
I want whatever you say, I'm there.
Okay. All right.
I'm there.
I need it.
100%. Just a little bit more about Evolution and kind of like it being such a historic moment. You obviously have a daughter.
Yes.
Right? What are you hoping that the young girls there at State Farm Arena on Sunday kind of take away from this event?
Yeah, that you can do anything you put your mind to. You know, don't let anyone tell you who you are. You show them who you are. And that's what we're going to go out there and do on Sunday at the State Farm Arena at 6:30.
Okay, what is your message? If Naomi is watching this, what would be your message to her?
Girl, you already know it's coming. This Sunday, be ready because a storm is coming.
Storm is coming. Okay, since you do live in Atlanta, I wanted to kind of get your thoughts on some Atlanta things.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite wing spot in the city?
Right now, is it Kimchi? Kimchi Red.
Okay.
Kimchi Red out in Alpharetta is so good.
I have not been to Kimchi
You
Red.
have to
I'm a
go.
big wing guy. That's
You have
crazy.
to go. It's so good. I
Okay.
think they have about 3 locations, but it's really, really good. But also, I like Wings 101.
Okay.
Don't,
sometimes keep it simple.
Yeah, keep it simple. But Kimchi Red, you definitely have to try out. They have so many
It's like
flavors.
Korean wings?
Yes.
Okay.
It's really good. I'm telling you. Well, they say they're the #1 wing place in the United States. I think so,
Really?
right? Yeah.
I'll have to try.
You
I
have
didn't
to.
know
It's
about
good.
this.
They have ramen with it. They have everything you can think of with your wings.
Okay.
Try it out.
Kimchi Red. Noted.
I won't steer you wrong.
Goat Atlanta artist.
Why you have to set me up like that?
No, come on. Because I know you have one.
Outcast. Andre
I mean, that's
3000.
easy. I was gonna
Andre
be like, you gotta
3000.
put
You
that
have
in the
to, yes,
bag.
of course, of course. My
100%.
husband would kill me if I say anything else. Yeah.
No
huge
doubt
fan.
about it. Are you a Braves fan? Or do you kind of roll with, like, who's your husband a fan of? I know he spent a majority, is it
With
where
the
he spent-
Reds.
With the Reds, right?
Yeah.
A majority of his career with the Reds. Are you a Reds fan? Are you a Brave? Like, how do you, and you're from Florida, like, how does that work for you?
So I'm more of a Braves fan.
Okay.
So when he was here for the 2017-18, we were so excited. We had a fantastic year at that. The Sun Park, well, it's not the Sun Park anymore, but it was it's a Truist Stadium, but it was a brand new park. So we got to experience that. We had a great time with them. I would say I'm more of a Braves fan.
I love that. Now, I don't know if people knew this. You're a bit of a hooper. Like,
I am.
I looked
I
at
am.
your stats.
Whenever you're ready, you let me know.
I want none of the smoke.
No.
In any
I love
arena
that.
with you, I want no smoke. You were a killer at Jacksonville
Thank you.
University. I mean, you were a killer in high school. Your favorite WNBA player right now?
Erica Willer.
Okay.
Erica Willer. I love me some Skylar Diggins as well. The Storm is killing it right now.
Cool.
The Storm. Hot.
Good Storm, right?
Yes.
It all
I
plays
love that.
in.
Yes.
I absolutely love it. Just an overall, what should fans expect overall on Sunday at Evolution?
Oh man, a jam-packed show full of superstar, all-star women going out there showing you exactly what we came here to do. You know, represent for the women. Some spectacular outfits, spectacular matches. You know, we're not holding back, and this is just the beginning to the women's evolution.
You heard it here first from the Queen. Sunday, July 13th, State Farm Arena. Anything else before we go?
Oh yes, we have also a couple of shows. We have main event on Saturday at 7:30 at the State Farm Arena, and also we have NXT Saturday as well at 2:30 at the center stage.
Right. Great American Bash. We're excited. I actually caught up with Goldberg last week.
Yes.
Very excited. And of course, for her to take on Naomi. Finally, probably close that chapter. Jay, thank you so much for your
No, thank
time.
you for having
Appreciate
me.
you.